Okay, so
It's simulcasting
now
on
I
your end too.
okay, so now I can't. Now you gotta. Okay, where is it? IG. Okay, so that's the IG, and then it's this girl. Wait, this girl.
Okay, I see it.
Can
Here
you
we
see it
go.
now?
Yep,
Okay.
there it is. Well, you got
Now
to
look
play
at
it
the
on your
sentence.
end.
Look at the sentence.
Well, hold on a minute. It's kind of small. Let me blow up my screen. Put it in full screen. Okay, I see. It said the colonel asked the choir to what is that? Accommodate the governor's schedule. Okay.
All right. So look at her reaction. And this is they say kids. These kids can't. They don't. They can't read. They can't read cursive, and then they cannot read. Let alone look how she tries.
What the fuck does that say? Why am I reading this? No, I'm not reading this. This is a whole bunch of bullshit.
The colonel asked the choir to accommodate the governor's schedule.
What does that mean?
But he's asking the choir to accommodate to the governor's schedule, right?
In your own words.
There's a governor's schedule, and so the colonel is asking the choir to accommodate to it.
In your own words.
I don't know.
What does it mean?
The colonel asked the choir to accommodate the governor's schedule.
What does that
So you see, she can read it, and the white boy read it, right? The other girl couldn't read it, and then they're asking. Now he's asking them to explain what that means. So now I can't. Now this is not just reading. This is also comprehension. Go ahead. Look.
Right? They asked the people to sing for the governor's schedule. I don't know what this means.
The colonel asked the choir to accommodate the governor's schedule.
What does that mean?
He asked the choir to accommodate. I don't know. I don't know, bro. It means he asked them to read the schedule. So like,
The colonel asked the choir to accommodate the governor's schedule.
The who? She said the colonel.
I mean, it is spelled like that. I used to say it like that when I was a kid, but when I got older, I learned to pronounce colonel.
But she in high school, so she been learning how to pronounce it.
Yeah.
Okay.
What does that mean?
To sing with the governor.
What the fuck does that say?
Okay, so look, here's that one. And then this is this one.
Read that index card for me.
She wore a
Okay, so the card says she wore a silhouette of clothing that were extraordinary, but somewhat. What is that last word? I can't see it.
That's like Gucci.
Okay. Okay. Let's see what the sentence says.
suit clothes that were. Who's this for?
She couldn't even say silhouette.
Extraordinary, but
Right, but her nails done. She got a cell phone. She got that bust down though.
somewhat
She wearing some jacket. She on the team.
like Gertrude.
Now explain what that means.
I don't know.
She wore a sahalat of clothes that were
Really?
extraordinary, whatever, bro.
What? Whatever, bro. What?
But somewhat.
What does that mean?
She wore a lot. Wait, she wore. Bro, I don't know, bro. Can you take the card back, please?
She wore a. Oh baby. She wore a silhouette of clothes that were. Bitch, I don't know that word.
She got to the word extraordinary.
Oh my
Instead,
god.
instead, bitch, I don't know that word.
I don't even know how to read. I don't know why I did this.
She wore a silhouette of clothes
A silhouette. Go ahead.
that were extraordinary, but somewhat gauche.
All right, now what does that mean?
I have no idea. Like his clothes was nice or something like that. She wore a. I don't know what this should say. I don't know what this should say. I don't know what this should say.
It's so cool for them to be stupid. They rather be like, I don't know
Oh
what this
my.
should say. But silhouette, she wore a silhouette of clothing that was somewhat goth. And then they're asking them
Oh, that's
now,
what that
what is
last word was. Goth. That was that last word.
correct? A silhouette of clothing that was extraordinarily somewhat
Gothic.
goth, right? Gothic.
gothic.
Okay. So
Oh,
but
yeah.
even still, Hustler, they got to the word extraordinary and couldn't read that word. And then some of them didn't know how to pronounce silhouette. Right? They couldn't even get the right So at least if you're in the right syllable, you know what I'm saying? If you're in the right syllable phrase, even if you said silhouette, you trying, but the other kids couldn't even try. So what was you saying about our educational system?
Well, I think that video kind of sums up what the hell is going on. Before I get into my video, let me say that kind of summed it up. But shout out to Centico, unpredictable, always at her pentacle. Welcome to the show, my lady. And shout out to Drip. Drip, he may be a trip, but it always offers wonderful tips. Welcome to the show.
Hey, Drip. Hey, Sugar.
Those two, I mean, I can understand these were like little kids, like 5, 6, 7-year-olds who can't pronounce this stuff. But come on, you damn near in high school. Or in high school, you can't even say extraordinary or silhouette. The same shit we learned when we was like at least in elementary and preschool. I mean, middle school,
or just how to attack the words, how to attack the phonetic part of it, right? Even if you said silhouette wrong, you could still get extraordinary because those are two actual root words that are put together. It's not like it's a word and it's two actual words. So it's like, even if you did the whole count your syllables thing, extraordinary is two actual words. So you shouldn't get those two wrong.
Yeah, extraordinary. I'm like, this is those two clips kind of summed up what I plan on talking about with my video. It's like, oh my God. And as far as that first one is concerned, old girl to know what the hell accommodate means. Accommodate means to fit into something, fit in. So I guess they want the choir to kind of, I don't know, schedule to sing a song for the colonel when you come in. I don't know.
Accommodate means if you're coming to my hotel and I have accommodations for you, that means I have wine, water, soap.
Well, that too. Okay.
Right. So accommodate means to provide, to make adjustments and to provide something in addition, right? So that we want to accommodate your schedule. That he wanted them to say it in their own words, not to actually use the words to explain the definition. So if someone says, hey, if you come visit me, I'm going to accommodate you with your transportation, which means I'm going to provide it. I'm going to make sure that it fits for you. It works for you.
Okay.
Right? Accommodate, we usually accept that as making it work for that person. Especially when we mess up something. So we want to make accommodations because we're going to do a little extra. Oh, we're so sorry, Mr. Hustler, about the poor service. Let me make some accommodations for you. The bill is paid for. I'm going to offer you a dessert. I'm going to make accommodations. I'm going to give you something I'm going to make an adjustment. I'm going to adhere to your benefit. So accommodating for the colonel's schedule is making sure that when you're going to sing is when he's ready, when he has time for you. That's how you say it in layman terms, where the choir is going to sing when the colonel has time for him, has time for them. That's what you're doing. You're accommodating his schedule. Whenever he's got open time, the choir is going to perform. Other than that, they're waiting. But they couldn't even say it in their own words, right? So they didn't understand what they read to even tell you to even say it. You see that? How me and you just did it? Because we understood what we read. They didn't even understand what they were reading to even say what this could possibly mean in my own words.
Mm-hmm. I mean, you summed it up better than I did, but that's kind of what I was getting at. Fit in, make arrangements, provide something. Yeah.
Yes, that's a better, right, make arrangements. Even if they said that, even if they questioned it was like accommodations, like, does that mean make arrangements? You would have been on the right track. But they said, I don't know what the fuck this means.
And we all know what the word silhouette. And we all know what silhouette means. It's just like a dark or shaded. It's like a shade of darkness to where you can only see the outline of something, not the whole thing.
Right. A silhouette would be a synonym of silhouette would be an outline, right? A shadow.
Yeah.
Even if they said shadow, they're on the right track. You see what I'm saying? But they're not. But you saw for yourself, those kids were nowhere close to the right track because they had no idea what silhouette, how to pronounce it, let alone what does it mean. Even to see how to attack the sentence, to break it down and take each word by itself and says, well, what does this word mean? That'll take but a couple seconds when you think about the woman. I know that's a woman. Okay, so I'm good right there. She had a silhouette. So what's a silhouette? Oh, a silhouette. It's like, is it like a shadow? Okay, she had a shadow. Okay, an outline. You see what I'm saying? There's missing something in that part of the education because we can break it down and figure it out by breaking down the sentence word by word. They couldn't even get that far. And these are your leaders for tomorrow.
That's a lead I'm not gonna follow.
These are your leaders. You're your hero.
Mm-hmm. How you gonna be a hero when you need saving yourself? Just saying.
Well, they can't read, so they're gonna be waiting on you to explain to them what they're supposed to go do, how to save you.
Yeah. Okay, here's my video. Shout out to Shira on the wall. Okay. that's a crazy name.
Shira.
Yeah. She
Like
says
He-Man.
Gen Alpha can't read is getting worse. Oh boy.
Mm-hmm.
My students can't read.
Okay, to kind of tie into the video that you showed us earlier,
Mm-hmm.
let's take a look at this one. But first, let me say what up to what is this? Ellie Croissant. How you doing? And shout out to IB Woden. Thank y'all for stopping
Hey,
by
IB
as
Woden.
well. Feel free to chime in. Let me just fix this real quick. Okay, there we go. Full screen. All right, let's get into this. Fair use.
My students can't read. They're not recognizing.
6'7". What is that?
That thing that boy invented, that was the number game or number thing, whatever it is.
Because I work with school children on a school bus. That's all they be saying. 6'7", 6'7".
Well, they're banning it, or they're not. I guess they're banning it now, or they're like, no, you can't say that, because the boy who created it, I guess it came out that he was on some old demonic, vibe. So they're telling them, hey, you can't be saying this, because you guys. I told a little kid, I'm like, do you even know what it's from and why you're saying it and what it means? And they're like, no, we don't even care. 6'7", 6'7". I'm like, you could be calling a spirit into your world, into your life, And then I showed him the video about the guy who said he made it up because he knew that the kids would follow, and y'all so stupid. Yeah.
I don't know. Either these kids are like me and don't believe all that superstitious bullshit, or maybe they just don't know no better. I don't know.
They don't know anything. They're following that. And he knew that. That's why he said that he made it. Some of the kids got offended. They're like, wait, you made this knowing that we were going to follow you? He said, yes, because you guys are idiots. And now the other kids were like, 6'7", 6'7". No, it's harmless. So yeah, they have no idea what it means and what they're doing behind it.
Now, we used to say stuff like this when we were kids, but the only difference between us is that we kind of had some understanding what this stuff meant, and we knew when to say it and when not to say it.
And you was legit scared. Like if somebody said go in there and say Candyman 3 times, you was like, hell no. I'm not.
I've seen the movie, so I already know.
Or you say, what was it?
Bloody Mary. Remember Bloody Mary?
Yeah, you knew enough to be like, if someone came back behind you and you was up here screaming 6'7", they was like, nah, hustler, that got some demonic influence behind it. You gonna be like, hello. That's like saying Candyman. Let me stop saying the two damn numbers, because it's equivalent to saying Bloody Mary and Candyman. But after you tell these kids these days that, they like, okay, and that was just a movie. So they don't even believe that it could be you could be doing something with it. Don't even believe that much. So at least we was scared back then. We was like, nah, forget that. I'm gonna stop doing it.
Yeah. I mean, as a kid, I didn't believe all this superstitious shit, but I won't go test it out.
Right.
I was told breaking a mirror or walking under a ladder is bad luck, but did I ever do it? Nope.
Exactly. So right. So these kids these days, they'll go do it because they be like, so what? Ain't nothing gonna happen. Okay, that's what. Listen, the evidence of ain't nothing happening is us not doing it. That's how you know ain't nothing gonna happen. We didn't do that shit. Wait, tell them go home and say two Hail Marys and one Our Father. Yeah, I be already. They don't believe you. You could
Hail Mary and one Our Father prayer.
You go. They don't believe you. At least we was just scared enough to be like, oh, they talking about 6'7" is demonic. Okay, that's the end of that. We ain't gonna be saying it no more. These kids is pushing the envelope.
Yeah, they are. All right, let's get back into this. Fair use.
Letters, they're not recognizing letter sounds.
Attention spans are waning because everything is high stimulation. They can just scroll, watch less than a minute.
We are in a crisis mode in American schools.
The kids can't read, write, or remember anything or use their imagination.
What'd you say, Genesis?
I watched the black guy. He's he has a thing too where he talks about the kids each day. He talks about what they can't read and what they can. Yeah, him. He does a lot of content like that. Yeah. He breaks it down, but he's really good too with like de-escalating when he gives you like stuff like that to do. Like the kid came in hysterical, crying, this I had to do this and this. Like I like him. But I was just giving that little shout out to him. He's a good. The other lady, I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, sorry.
Well, to be fair, I thought he looked familiar, but I thought it was just me. But now you done said something, yeah.
Yeah, he has a lot of content out there where he talks about, your kid today at school or with the kid. He has small kids too. I think he has like elementary school kids or junior high, I guess. But go ahead, yeah. Good job.
All right, let's continue. Fair use.
The kids can't read, write, or remember anything or use their imaginations, and the teachers are wondering why.
So apparently Gen Alpha can't read, write, or spell because learning 6-7 is apparently more important than reading at grade level.
5, 6, 7.
Oh my god.
What? So they go to 6 and just stop at 7. They go to 6 and 7 and stop 6, 7.
Because they're gonna keep doing the 6, 7, and then they're not gonna get the rhythm of counting. You see how they changed the rhythm to the ABC song, right? So this whole generation, see how much different that is. You learn ABC your whole life the same song. We would sit down and watch Sesame Street and all that. And ABC been singing on the sound in the same way in our whole life. But now if you're a parent today, your kid learns the ABC song and it's not the same song you learned your whole life. So how, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
How, let alone adjusting to that, adjusting to math that you don't know nothing about, adjusting to them teaching you, taking certain stuff out of the history books, and your kids, like, you've been teaching your kid about a certain thing about Black history. They get to school and the teacher says slavery was a choice. You know what I'm saying? So how you supposed to help your kid when the information is way different now? Even the damn song. Now you've been sitting down with your 4-year-old saying A, B, C, D. They get to school and the whole song is different now.
Okay, I'm all for updating some, but let's not throw away what worked for previous generations and educated them. So
they can't get to 10 because everybody gets to 6, 7, 6, 7. So the whole 1, 2, the whole rhythm of the counting 8, 9, 10. It was a reward to get to 10. When I taught preschool, it was let's get to 10 so we can do the dance. But we can't if they keep getting interrupted when we get to 6. They are 6, 7, 6, 7. Come on, y'all. 8, 9, 10. They can't get through the numbers. You see how they reacted?
yeah,
They're
I
counting.
see.
All they're doing is counting to freaking 10. They're kids. But if they keep
Yeah.
stopping at 6, 7, 6, 7, yay.
And don't forget that other nursery rhyme. If you've seen Nightmare on Elm Street, you remember that old nursery rhyme. 1, 2, Freddy's coming for you.
But even
3,
still,
4,
that
better
was-
lock your doors.
that
5,
was,
6, get the crucifix.
we
7,
didn't say
8, don't stay up
crucifix.
late.
We didn't say crucifix, remember, but because that was a jump rope song, and that was a hopscotch song. Remember the hopscotch when you draw the squares on the ground, the 1 and the 2.
Yep.
That's what that is. 1, 2. There's coming for you. 3, 4, and you're hopscotching, or you're jumping, you're double dutching. That was not
Yep,
a
that's how
song
we
from the
did it.
movie, but that's how we got that. Like, just the idea of all that's changed now, and it's not like a Mandela effect. Like they're telling our generation, "Oh no, it was always like this." Well, there's some stuff they're trying to tell us it was always like that, but they literally have changed the way you teach. You have taught 4 of your kids, 3 of your kids. You have taught 3 of your kids the A, B, C, D, E, F, G that way, and then you get to the 4th kid, and now the ABC song is totally different. So how you got it? You got to learn it to keep your kids right.
I see. What is that? Pass the shit, Jen.
Oh yeah, he's talking about because I was coughing and I'm talking too much. But go ahead.
Yeah, it's all right. We're both passionate. Remember, me and Genesis are cancer, so we tend to ramble on too much. Now you know why. We're passionate people. But let's continue. Fair use.
We are so doomed. Every single time I open TikTok recently, I feel like it's another teacher talking about how far behind Gen Alpha students really are and how quickly it's getting worse.
But I don't understand why they're not stressing to y'all how bad it is. I'm not even trying to be funny, but these kids are I teach 7th grade. They are still performing on the 4th grade level.
I teach 8th grade history, and I have 110-ish students. 2 of them are reading on grade level.
I can probably count on one hand how many kids are actually performing on their grade level.
18 of them are at a kindergarten level. 55 of those students are between a 2nd and 4th grade
55
level.
55 students at a 2nd grade level.
She said they're between the 2nd and 4th grade level. So now, Hustler.
Wow.
When we go back to when PhD and then was talking about the men and how talking about we don't want to be bothered with some of these idiots because they have a 4th grade education. Where did you think that came from? You thought that was just women pulling that out their ass, or now we have evidence? Because some of us kind of already knew some of this stuff. Some of the teachers are talking to the other women, so they know. I worked during the No Child Left Behind thing that we had here. I worked for Sylvan Learning Center, and I was one of those people that would sit down and test those kids to find out what level they're on, because the Sylvan and the Kumon, they start helping you at the level you're already at, right? So we just heard her say 55 of her kids are at a 2nd and 4th grade reading level. When I'm testing the child on the notes at Sylvan Learning Center, I have to start off if the child is sitting in front of me and that's a 11th grader, I'm going to start off with 11th grade reading. But then when they go to read, they can't. You just saw those high school students couldn't read that sentence. Then if they can't read the sentence, Hustler, we have to go down to 10th grade. They can't read. They have to read and comprehend. So they got to read it, tell me what they read, and then answer a question. If they can't, we got to go down to 9th grade. And that's how we found out way back then that we had 16 and 17-year-old kids that read on a 4th grade reading level in real life. So they ain't lying. And that's not some mess that we pulling out our butts because we hate men. Some of these men try to holler at us and talk to us, and y'all want us to follow you, and y'all can't read past 4th grade. Because there's no way 55 of her high school students, these are kids that's going to be driving on the car and taking your order when you go out to eat, Hustler. They can't read past 4th grade, though. Okay.
Damn, that sucks.
Okay.
To be fair, there are some people out there like that. That's why I say you can't put everybody in the same category. Because there are some men who talk like they barely got out of junior high school. So yeah, there are some men who talk like that, can't articulate themselves properly or speak proper English or say complete sentences. We had that discussion sometime last year about mofos mispronouncing words and having broken English and all that kind of shit.
And on purpose, because they think it's cute. They think and they would tell us. They would be like, they think it's cute that that's a role like for them to be like to fall into, because they'll meet that educated woman and she'll feel sorry for you, like, oh, come on here, baby. But how a lot of women, when you go to talk to the men these days, they sound like they do have a 4th grade education. So it's surprisingly and it's refreshing, and it do make the panties hot to some women. It makes the panties drop because the man can actually make a whole full sentence and he can comprehend what he just read. So hey, my bad. That's an easy turn on, guys. Learn how to read. You want to turn the woman on?
Yeah.
Learn how to read.
Please do. And we're not talking about the people who just have accents, so maybe they pronounce certain words differently, or maybe spell them different. We're talking about mofos that can't read, write, or spell properly.
Like we just saw, they could not read the sentence, Ivy Wody. They could not read the sentence. That they got to the word extraordinary and couldn't figure out that. That's just where we at, y'all. What we got to deal with.
And what would it say? I'm from South Louisiana. I'm gonna say that shit the way I wrote it and how I say it. That's the way it needs to be.
Right. But that's it. That's your accent. That's not you not knowing how to read or write, Brody. So we just played the video, and them kids cannot read. And you just saw this. So the teachers finna tell y'all the kids can't read.
Yeah, you cynical one said, I hate black lipstick. Well,
I know.
You're all that
shit. It looks gothy, yeah.
I don't judge anybody for being gothic. It's kind of eerie to me, but hey, I don't judge anybody for being goth. Just saying. But let's continue. Fair use.
That's a lot of them.
Now, at this point, you'd hope that these teachers are exaggerating or that it's just a few bad classrooms with a few bad students. But unfortunately, it's not.
I'm a bartender at a resort, and this family came up to the bar to order their food. One of the kids, who's about 8 or 9 years old, asked what flavor of Dippin' Dots we had, so I handed her a menu. This way she could read the flavors, and I was going to continue helping the rest of the party. When I tell you that I handed her the menu, and she looks at me dead in the eyes and goes, I can't read. I was left absolutely speechless for a few seconds. You're going to tell me around 2nd, 3rd grade, you can't read? I truthfully did not believe what I was hearing, and that's just frightening.
How do you know?
Wow, ain't that
God damn it! You can't make this shit up.
That's
can't make
happened,
this shit up.
Hustler. That has happened when because I've ran restaurants for 20 plus years now. That has happened in the restaurant, giving the kid the menus. That happened on the elevator. Okay, going into my apartment. The mama told the kid to push she told him press the button. And then she said, what floor are you getting off on? I told her what floor. She told him press that button. And he's pressing everyone. She said she's telling him where the button is. It's right above the 1. It's right below the 4. Right? I have given kids menus. I have asked them, I have shown them, stuff, and you have to come back and read it to them. And we're not saying just because the smaller kids have a little bit of more of an excuse, right? Because they're little and they're learning how to do all this. So yeah, by 2nd grade, you should be able to read something, right? But it's bad because it's getting to be older kids, like the ones you just saw, who are in high school, who could talk back to you. And those are the ones who are, jumping on old people at the bus stops, right? With women picking up their kids. And those are the ones that are having babies because they screwing. You know what I mean? Those are the ones out here getting driver license. So it's bad enough that they're little kids. An 8-year-old not knowing how to read at all is bad, because when that kid gets 13, they really don't know how to read. And now they got to function in the world because they're about to be big and be out here. You know what I'm saying? The world ain't going to be able to do nothing with them if we're 13, 14-year-old, 15-year-old that can't read.
Absolutely.
How you going to get a job?
Shout out to Lord ADS for stopping by.
Hey, because we're going to be old and they're going to be answering the phones and picking you up in Ubers and checking you at the hospital and shit, right? We're going to be older.
Yeah, we need to get it together. Oh, boy. Let's continue. Fair use.
Don't know how to read at 9. We're not talking about like Shakespeare here, okay? This is dipping dot flavors, like vanilla, strawberry. How the hell did we get here?
I was talking to one of our church kids, and he very boldly told me, yeah, I don't know how to read, and neither does anybody in my class. Mind you, this kid is starting 5th grade in August. And I thought he was playing, so I told him, kids will do anything for money. I was like, I'll give you $10 if you can tell me what this bag says. It said chips in giant letters. So this dude goes, CHIPS. And I go, what does that say? And he goes, potatoes.
Potatoes.
And see,
he knows what it's made from.
Well, but see, right there, Hustler, is what they're doing, is what they said they're allowing. Remember the whole debacle about the spelling bee and how the kids spelled it the word woman, WOYYMN, and they're saying that was acceptable because at least that is correct. That's phonetic. That's how it sounds. WOMYN. Well, for all our life, the word woman is spelled WOMAN, right?
Yes.
So why would you? So because the kids changed it, the younger people said no. It's if you also can spell the word woman, WOMYN, women. So if you're saying, well, at least he knows what it's made with because it's a potato, that's allowing him to not ever have to learn the word chips. And then they're gonna say, okay, what's another word for chips? Potato. Okay, yeah, you're right. You got the word right. And still the kid don't know the word chips and can't read the word chips. You see what I'm saying?
Oh, that's a good point. That's a good point. I meant that as a joke, but you make a good point too. I'm just astounded by the fact that he didn't know that. Come on. When I was younger,
and they're letting them get away with it in school. They're incorporating that in the school. They're saying, oh, at least he's in the right ballpark. At least he almost knows what it is, Hustler. Your son can almost read. Good job. and now you got to take care of your kid that can almost read.
Oh boy. I mean, I get what you're saying. I meant that as a joke, but you get what I'm saying. I mean, when we was in school, our parents didn't play that shit. Teachers didn't play it. And if you was one of those kids that couldn't read, they had to put you in a special group. Are they still doing that these days? We're trying to group everybody in the same
those
category.
kids. No, they do have special for like because even my sister had like math, you know, where she needed math to slow down. Like she can keep up with the rest of the class on everything else, but she needed the math, you know, in math she needed it to slow down. So they still, to my knowledge, they still do the little separation, but it's not like you go to a whole separate class. Sometimes they even have somebody come in. They said they have someone come in the class and work with you on that subject, and then that's it. And then some kids, like how the boy that only passed that 17 that went viral, nobody came in and did nothing. He only passed 3 classes for the whole 4 years he was in high school. So they're not separating anybody to the point where there's helping them. But some people are saying if you do get help, they come to your classroom and help you with that subject, and then that's it. You know, it's not like your whole curriculum is in the special wing of the building anymore. I heard they don't do that part. You know, it used to be like a whole section for the kids that needed help, right? They wasn't in the same class with us. Yeah, so but now they all in the same class. It's just that, oh, well, Hustler, you need a little help with reading. Then when we get ready to read, your tutor will come in and help you. And then after that, you go back to doing regular work.
Yeah, that's how it was when we was in school. I don't know what's up with this new school.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm all for equality, but I think equity is more important than equality. Everybody gets different treatment, but they're reaching the same goal, and they're all learning together, collectively, just on different levels.
Yeah, that would ensure that they were going to get pushed through, they were going to process through the system, right? Meaning that they were going to pass their classes and accomplish going to the next grade. So by them segregating us and saying, hey, you need a little help over here, come to this extra little side classroom, will help you. It was still keeping the kids on track, right? But now, some of these kids, it's okay to not graduate. So what am I doing all this for? And when it's okay to not graduate, what do you mean?
I mean, you have to graduate high school.
No, you don't.
They call it primary school. College
no,
is
not
one thing,
today in
primary
America.
school-
These kids don't have to. They can emancipate at 16. They can get a GED and be done with school altogether at 16.
Well, from what I understand, you're going to do so much with a GED. I never had one, so I wouldn't know entirely how that works. But from what I understand, you're going to do so much with it. The degree will get you the most opportunities and most notoriety. Just saying. But let's continue. Fair use.
We are so doomed. Hey, Shira?
Yeah.
Yes? We have to do our sponsored segment right now. Right now? Yeah. Okay. It's like, yeah, okay, sure. Well, I actually tried one this week to try a few games, see if you like it. Now let's get back to the video. Now, at first I thought, okay, maybe these are just crazy one-off stories. And then I looked at the actual numbers, and they're kind of insane. According to the National Assessment of Educational Progress, fewer than 1 in 3 students can read proficiently. And to be specific, only a third of 4th graders and 31% of
A third of 4th grade, 31% of 8th graders read at a proficient level. That was back in 2022.
8th graders read at the proficient level in 2022, which means more students are struggling to understand simple stories, pick out the main idea, or even explain what they just read. And it doesn't stop at reading, it spills into everything else, especially writing. Because now, a lot of them aren't even being asked to write full essays anymore. And even when they are, they refuse to write even a single paragraph because it feels too long.
I'm talking about high school.
Okay, let me say this
Stop
real
right there.
quick.
Okay, back up. Did you hear what she said? They don't even have to write a full paragraph, and now they're wavering on. They're giving them the option on comprehending and reading. Before it was reading and you had to comprehend, so you had to read, tell me what you read, and make sense of it. Now you can pick which one you either if you can't read it, and you can read it, but you can't read it out loud. You can choose, but if you read it and understood, then you can tell me what you understood. You know what I'm saying? Now they're giving them like, oh, well, that's okay, baby. What did you think it meant?
What did you think it meant?
Well, it looks like it's saying something about. You see what she just said? They're giving them the option. It's not even important anymore that they actually read and comprehend.
Okay, now that's just sad. Oh boy. See where we're heading with this? Oh man. I mean, when I was in school, we had to write essays, book reports, you know, write down read a story and then write what we thought about it and what it was about, yada yada yada. And let's not forget, back in the day, we tried to be slick and try to pass notes in school. We come from that generation. Before texting, we was passing notes and writing notes to each other in school. Now, from what I understand, they don't want to do that anymore. You don't want to read and write regularly, but when it comes to passing notes in class, you can't even do that now. Oh boy. Say what you will about our generation, Gen X, millennials, whatever, but at least when we were lazy and slick, we were still being productive while being lazy and slick.
Well, you had to figure it out, right? Now you can just pick up your phone and you can join a group chat that is including the people that's in your school, and you can just pass a note from that right there. Hey, gas mask. You know what I mean? You just no passing a note no more. But then that's people still pass notes, but I know what you're saying. Like, it takes away from the creativity. It takes away from you being, and thinking about what you're gonna say. Now you can just kind of send a text message, and if I wanted to get a boy's attention, I could just text whoever his friend is in the group chat. You know what I mean? There's no passing anything. Just me and you talking. Because the whole thing about the note was either I'm dropping the note off if I'm walking past your desk, or you pass it to someone to pass it to me. And you know what I'm saying? The whole secrecy, like, ooh, look what's happening. None of that's happening either, because we're on a group chat. So the whole thing is gone.
Yeah, that is wild. I mean, now these kids can just text and send little goofy emojis, and don't get me started with those goddamn acronyms and shit. WTF? Yeah. Exactly. Won't it?
What? Right? And they be like, "Hey, girl, you want to go out? Well, you want to sit together when we all go to the skate park?" And they be like, "Yeah." Okay, so now that would have been the note passed around, and looking at me at lunch and all that happened. But none of that got to happen no more. So I could just group chat everybody and be like, yo, and make a plan, and everybody going to be there, and so will you. I don't got to even walk up to you and invite you on a date. You're going to be, because that's how the kids are rolling. They don't even got a one-on-one no more. The whole anxiety of the note and all that was having to be like, here comes Hustler. He's going to ask me to the dance. He's going to ask me out. Now you ain't got to do all that. You just be like, is you going to the party, girl? I see you there. And now we go together.
Yeah,
none of that.
Conventional to digital, man. Oh man.
None of that no more. No romance in it. None of that is in there. No butterflies. The fuck you get a butterfly from a text message?
Nope.
Yeah,
it does kill the authenticity of what it was like to be creative when it came to writing. When it came to writing and making notes in class.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's
you gotta
continue.
trust who you can give it to. You can't just give it to everybody. Your homeboy, you know what I'm saying? Because your people will out you. So, you got to trust who you give it to. Like,
and that's another thing. It gave you, it allowed you to decipher who can you trust with this information, who not to trust with this information.
Yep, that part too. Like, oh no, you got a big mouth. No, you're gonna read my note. So you got to be like, give this to Hustler.
I don't trust your ass.
I don't trust your ass. Give this to Hustler. The only person I can trust with this. Give it to Hustler.
Mm-hmm. I like you, Genesis, but I can't trust Water to be secretive. Be like, hey, don't say it was from me, buddy.
Mm-hmm. See?
You have to decipher who can you trust and who can you not trust.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's continue. Fair use.
It's 10th grade now. If I ask a child to handwrite something, even just a paragraph, 5 sentences, basic paragraph, they roll their eyes, they throw tantrums, they get really, really unruly.
And don't get me even started on their spelling.
Read this word. Betwin. What? Betwin. What?
Betwin? It's between, goddammit.
What? Betwin. Okay, just making sure. Thank you.
Okay, I get it. Spell.
Just making sure. Thank you. Are you serious?
Well, we got to extraordinary. At least extraordinary is 2 actual words that you can put together. Between is not. You know what I mean? I get how. I don't get how they can't read it, but I get how they can have a problem with the syllable part of it, the putting the sounds together. But you saw they couldn't read extraordinary, and and they couldn't figure out one part was extra and the other word was ordinary. So you damn ain't gonna figure out between, you know, or you know what I'm saying? Because we were taught to look at something that you didn't know. Look at what part of the word that you did know, like before. I don't have to know how to pronounce before, but I know the FOR is for. I know BE is B, so I can at least figure out B and for to get. You know what I mean? Come on now.
I mean, to be fair, you know, B. Well, we know B is a word, but tween. That became a thing, you know, in the 2000s. The tweens.
But even to say between, you never heard neither one. Never heard no. What is a wean? See, that would be the other part of the logic. When you come to your grandma or your old school teacher, your auntie with that crap, talking about some between, they'd have been like, "What the hell is a wean?" I understand what bet means. What is bet? They make you sit there and explain what the word bet means, and you look at and you'll be sitting there feeling stupid that you said wean, and you know that's not what the hell that word means. You don't even know what the hell a wean is. Unless you know what I'm saying. So my grandmother would be like, "Now you can get away with it," because my grandmother would be like, "Now if you done messed around and finessed and figured out how to define those two words," she'd be like, "Okay, smarty pants," but they know that ain't the word. But even still, what the hell you doing? You don't. What the hell is between? Ever?
Right.
Where have you ever heard someone say between? That'd be the other side of it. Now you extra dumb.
Absolutely. Oh man, this is crazy. But let's continue. Fair use.
Spelling is hard, yeah. Trust me, I know I had to learn English when I was 11, and a lot of English words make absolutely no sense. For example, the word choir. Because when you first hear the word choir, okay, you break it up. Who-I-er. So you come to the logical conclusion that it's spelled like this, choir. And then you find out how it's actually spelled,
queer.
and it's spelled like this. No.
That first word was queer. Looked like it.
That's queer, right?
Oh, that's chower. Chower. That's not choir. Stop trying to gaslight me into thinking that these are the same words because they're definitely
Now,
not.
to be fair, when I was younger, I'm talking like in preschool, I used to pronounce it like that too. Chire or something. My mom was like, "No, that's choir." Huh?
Well,
Oh, well.
then you have to associate it. Well, when I was teaching preschool, you would have to associate that with other words that have that same sound or have the same spelling. Because otherwise it's not going to stick, right? You're going to keep when you keep getting there, you're going to say choir because you're going to remember it has a CH. So I would have to find other words that use that same CHO, like cholesterol. You don't say cholesterol,
Oh yeah.
right?
The CH still has that C sound. Yep.
Right. So other words now because that always baffles me. Like if you can say that, then why can't you say this part? Because it's the same sound, right?
Yep.
Like when
I
people
was
can
taught
say
that.
they can say future, but they can't say beautiful.
Like
Same
take the word
sound.
no, you know, KNOW. It's not kno. The K is silent.
So yes, there.
I was taught that in 3rd grade. So yeah.
But
Or
knuckle,
maybe 2nd
right?
grade. Maybe
Knuckle
2nd
is
grade.
KN. What's how you spell knuckle? KN.
Yeah.
New,
The K is silent.
right? So yeah. You don't say knuckles.
No, or knowledge, same thing. You don't say knowledge.
Knowledge. So you know that anytime. So that's why I would say I would use other words to help you associate it. Because if you're okay, you've already cleared your mind of knowing that the word knowledge doesn't have the word K sound, but you somehow get stumped when you get to knuckle or new. But you can't understand why the K is not silent here, but you understand why it's silent on the other word. So we got to figure out why is that word sticking and this word isn't. And then after a while, you'll learn I used to teach preschool, and these kids would be like, "What did you say? Who told you? Compucator. Who told you what? What? Compucator.
Compucator.
They used to hit me with crazy words. I'd be like, "Who told you?" My mama said the compucator. I said, "Oh Lord,
And
okay."
how long ago was you teaching kids back then? Was it like 20 years ago, 10 years ago?
I think for the last 10 years, yeah, I stopped dealing with kids altogether. Probably it's been probably 8 years now, 9 years now. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because I was dealing with kids all that whole time I was living when I lived in Atlanta. So like the last few years, my kids, all the kids that all the little kids grew up now.
Oh, okay. So he's some Gen Z kids, or Gen Z.
Mhm. They be
Early
like,
Gen Z.
my mom said I could use the computer. I'm like, okay, let's go back. Computer. You're adding an extra couple letters. And then the mama be like, ew, that's so cute. I be like, correct your child. Oh yeah.
Again, my folks didn't play that. When I was younger, my folks didn't play that. If we said a word incorrectly, and I'm coming from a family of old school traditional people. So you said a word incorrectly, they on your ass. Believe that.
Like, what did you say, sir?
I couldn't say the word television until I was at least maybe 8 or 9 years old. I would just say TV and left it at that. VCR, left it at that. But when I got old, I said, okay, television.
Oh, my brother's word was refrigerator, because he would say, they'd say refrigerator. My grandmother would be like, no. We did not say refrigerator. We're not doing refrigerator.
I knew people that used to say that. Remember, I come from the city. I knew people that used to say that.
They still say refrigerator. What's a refrigerator? What is that?
Refrigerator.
Where's the refridge? Why is it? Because it's where's the re part? What happened to that part? Yeah.
Yeah, I knew people back in the day when I was younger. They used to say that. I'm like, really?
Oh, that's so cute. Look at little Husker talking about refrigerator. And now he grown talking about refrigerator.
Yeah. All right, let's continue. Fair use.
There are going to be a lot of confusing words you're going to come across. But the word between? Really? Showing me how to spell between.
Bethine. Bethine.
Where's the W?
I'm guessing that's supposed to be it, but let's more like a BETH rather than a W. I don't know. Either she didn't write either she didn't write it correctly, or that's a whole cursive H. I don't know. Let's continue.
Is that H? Is that a W?
No, that's an H.
I'm sorry, but how do you
She even said it was an H. There you go.
get from TH, to W? Well, you get there by not learning the alphabet properly all the way back in kindergarten. Kindergarten is a crucial stage in a child's education journey where they begin to acquire foundational literacy skills. However, some children may face challenges in developing those skills, which can have long-lasting implications for their academic success. And yes, that sounds very academic and serious, but the idea is actually really simple. And it's if you fall behind in reading, you'll fall behind basically in every other subject, since, reading is kind of like an essential life skill. It's like trying to play a video game with no controller and wondering why you keep losing, or trying to build IKEA furniture with no instructions, or trying to bake a cake with half of the ingredients missing. You get the point.
I say this with the utmost love and patience that I can say. Y'all, the literacy rates right now are insane. I teach first grade. Kids aren't reading. They're not recognizing letters. They're not recognizing letter sounds. I have students that can't recognize their letter sound. We got to do something.
And some of you are probably thinking oh, some kids are just lower than others. They'll catch up. Well, a longitudinal study following students from 1st to 4th grade found that the poor 1st grade reader almost inevitably remains a poor reader by the end of 4th grade. So no, they don't just magically catch up. If you don't
Yeah, you don't just magically learn how to read overnight. You got to be taught the shit properly, just like we were taught.
Right. So going back to being able to learn how to just even attack the word and phonetically make it make sense, right? They can't that was part of the foundation of us learning how to read, was learning the right sounds. So you heard what the lady said, they don't even know their letter sounds. So they don't know that the k, the CK k, the CH k, the actual letter k, the letter C k, right? Kite, cat, choir, the Q letter, the letter Q, U, ka.
Yeah, like quiver. Quit, quiver, queer, quiet. Yep.
All that ka, and they don't know the difference between all of them. And then I even made a joke about, we joke sometime about, how sometimes these are the bad part about it, Hustler, is that these young people, we're talking about kids. Look, me and you, we're talking about little kids right now, right? We're talking about elementary school kids. But what we forgot, we just saw the video of high school kids. So that means these little ninjas is not too far behind, about to be 19, 20, 21, and they still can't read Extraordinary Silhouette. The woman had a silhouette that was made extraordinary, and making the accommodations for the colonel, Colonial. They can't read that at that point, at 16, 17, and they supposed to be what? Now, we make jokes about that because they text you and they talk to you and they say, oh, mines, they don't know that they're there and there. They can't figure out the different sounds of C and K, and they definitely can't get past that to even get to the point of actually using the proper grammar and using words in the right tense. So they using the wrong letters, and they think they're using the wrong words. You see how it go together? Because they don't even know the sounds that's what they just done. They're not even pronouncing the word correctly to get the spelling to make them make sense. So when they talking and writing, that's why they failing all together on comprehension. Because even think about even when they reading, they can't make sense of the word in front of them because they have no idea what that sound is. Because they might even know it, but they don't know that they even know what it is. It's just crazy. And you see how they be like, that thing, what that girl say? That paper said a bunch of shit on it. That paper said it was some words on the paper. Everybody else was reading words, and how come she couldn't find no words?
Good question. Man, oh man. This is some wild shit right here, but let's continue.
Tackle reading problems early, they don't just go away, they get worse. And that's how you get high school students who still don't know the alphabet.
Every year that I've ever taught band, at the beginning of the year, when you're dealing with beginner musicians, the first thing that you do is teach them how to read notes on a music staff. And usually what I see in my classes when students are having a hard time identifying the note names on the staff, most of the time these issues have to deal with them not understanding that there's a line space, alternating orders. But this past year, it was different. A lot of these kids would not even use alphabet symbols. They would be making up symbols. They would not even know how to write A, B, C, D, E, F, G on their piece of paper. They would also have issues not knowing alphabetical order in general. So if they knew how to write A, B, C, D, E, F, G, they couldn't answer to me what letter would come after C in the alphabet. And I'm not just talking one or two kids in the class. I'm talking closer to 50%.
That's half of them. Damn, that's over half of them.
You see what she says? They're not even recognizing the order of what comes what, and then not recognizing that in the it's just like on the piece of paper. On your paper, there's a line space. What the entire hell? How you not recognizing where stuff's supposed to go? And then you move over to music. I can read a treble clef and a bass clef. Once you learn how to read music, I don't know if anybody like me, but you just don't forget how to not read music. How to read music once you learn how to read music. So it's still line space. When has it not been line space?
It hasn't. Now, to be fair, I never learned how to read music. I never learned how to read music myself. But my mother can do it better than I can because she's been playing the piano since I was a little kid. I'm talking 30 plus years of practicing on the piano and watching all the little tutorials and shit. Mm-hmm. So she could probably read music better than I can. But come on, even I understand the alphabets. Jesus.
But look at that. You saw what that image was behind her. You know that. See, and look at the logic, okay? Because you know the alphabet and the order that the letters come in. Look at that, right? So, okay, this is why some people who can read music, it's not like it's hard to read music because it's still line space, right? And everybody understands the do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. That's always how that's going to sound. It's the point, Hustler, is that you can make sense of what I just said, right? You can say do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. So those notes have to go up or down, right? Because up means high. Low, down means low. So you can make sense of it. Imagine trying to tell someone that and they're not understanding that there's letters on the lines. You just looked at it.
Yeah, it makes sense when you put it like that. It makes sense.
What? They're like, what is this? They're making up letters? What?
Yeah. They're making up their own symbol because they can't read the goddamn alphabet. Oh boy, ain't that about fun?
What?
I'm trying not to laugh because this is a bad matter, but I don't know. It's just
How do you
astonishing.
make up letters? Can I make up zeros on my check? What we doing?
Mm-hmm.
How do you make up letters?
I don't know. She said substitute letters for symbols. I don't know, but let's continue. Fair use.
Probably thinking that this is like, first grade, second grade, maybe third grade students. No, try seventh graders.
And we're not also just talking about sixth graders. We're talking about sixth, seventh, and eighth graders, kids that are about to go into high school.
Not knowing music notes, that's completely normal. But not knowing the alphabet, that's a problem. But not knowing the alphabet in seventh grade, that's terrifying. Okay, we gotta go back to the basics, like A, B, C, D, E, F, G, because clearly we skipped a few steps
I love Mario Paint.
there, right? Let's send them back.
They would be making up symbols.
Now, the strangest part of all of this is that Gen Alpha actually reads more words per day than any other generation in human history. That's right. They're the first generation to fully grow up immersed in digital technology with access to information at all times. Like, statistically, objectively, more access to words through captions, comments, and subtitles. So if exposure to words alone made you literate, these kids would probably be the most well-read, articulate children to ever exist in history. They'd be out here quoting.
Say what, Genesis?
What she just said, if just recognizing words, she said this generation actually reads more words than all of us before this generation, right? She just said that, right? They read more words a day, but it's primarily because of sight recognition. It's like how a kid, like a preschooler or a kindergartner reads. They read because they keep saying the same word over and over again. And then they make sense of the other words. That's why you can see a kid, that's why you could give them, like you can give the word carrot, right? And then you could give them the word car, and they know the word car, and they'll still say car when they see a carrot because they know that word car. They just, you know what I mean? So they're learning by sight words, but if you say carrot, now, once they learn carrot, every time they see those CAR words together, anything like carbon dioxide, they're gonna be like carrot, because they're recognizing a part of the word that they do know, and they'll say that part, and you be like, oh, that's not what that is, honey, but you were close. Not like how the little boy looked at the bag of chips and said potato. You know what I mean? That's not the same thing. If he said another word for chips, right? If he said crispy, then he would be in the same ballpark of recognizing the letters more so than memorizing the words. So their kids are learning by memorizing the words that they keep seeing over and over and over again. They're not learning anything. They just keep they keep seeing the word car or drive time or, Popeyes or Chick-fil-A. So they can't read the word Chick-fil-A. They just recognize that those cluster of letters means Chick-fil-A when they see it.
Oh, okay. So they're basically learning words just from seeing them, not so much trying to break them down and articulate them, right?
Yeah, right. So she said they can actually read more words than any generation before them. But it's just seeing billboards and seeing TikToks and seeing commercials and seeing things on Instagram and seeing things on Facebook over and over again. You see the word Facebook over and over again. You now don't even read the word Facebook. Those two letters, all those letters together say Facebook.
Yeah, that's true. Now, to be fair, back when we were younger, we had our TV. We had the world around us to see these words and but nonetheless, even though we had television and limited access to the internet back when we were younger, we still had to learn point by point how to articulate certain words. Like you said, break them down, find bits of it that you can't remember and break the word down. That didn't go away. Even when we had internet, we could just type in something, but still we have to learn how to properly spell the word, because this is before spell check became a thing. There was a time when spell check barely existed in computers, so you had to still watch your spelling.
And think about it. What was the first thing that you had to know when you ask your mama, how you spell butterfly? And she like, I don't know, go look it up. And you looking like, how am I gonna look it up if I can't spell it? But what was we doing? We were taught how to break the word down so that we can at least start looking for words that look like a part of the word butterfly in the
Yeah,
dictionary.
look for the word butter. Look for butter.
Exactly.
EU section, and there you go.
And you start going from there. But this generation doesn't even know that much because that practice of learning that's how you find of learning words is dissolved. It's going away because unless they've seen the word butterfly over and over again, they don't know what that word means. They just see a bunch of letters. And they're only learning it because they keep seeing the word over and over again. Michael Jackson got it across his face on the album cover. You know, they see it on a cartoon. Butterflies in the sky, only because people have TikTok videos where the words are highlighted at the bottom. So they're not learning how to read. They're recognizing the words that they keep seeing over and over again. That's how like baby preschoolers learn. So this is 7th graders that she just said.
Yeah. And that's how we did it when we was in preschool. We just saw certain words, but we got older, we realized how to, break the words down. I'm gonna say by, I don't know, 4th grade or 5th grade, we understood that, hey, we got to break these words down. Remember, we had all the little educational shows that taught us this stuff back in the day. They still make educational shows, but our kids watching them like they should. Who knows? Like you said, Sesame Street, Barney and Friends. There was a show called Beakman's where I used to watch when I was in elementary school. It was
a lot of the shows back then had like an educational premise. So there was always learning something, a moral premise, don't be mean to your friends and don't judge people a book by its cover. And then there still was the education. A lot of the shows back then, Yo Gabba Gabba, Sesame Street, what was that girl with the little clown? All
Dart
the little
Explorer.
Yeah, there's always a lesson or some sort of educational aspect for it from, a part of it. So we've been getting it. It's just that, because now, but then think about this, H&M. You go from Dora the Explorer to Teletubbies, or you go from Barney to Teletubbies, like, and them kids, them things don't even talk. But that's, where's our cartoons, our stuff like that was educational field, It was filled up. We were looking forward to that, the countdown. How many butterflies do the count see? Count with me. 1. You know what I'm saying? That was a part of like how we understood things. Now you got a damn Teletubby who don't even talk. So I mean, we're happen. Our shit was different.
I never watched Teletubbies, so I had no idea they couldn't speak. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, them things don't talk. It's a whole hour of me.
Oh, so they do make some kind of a sound. Any subtitle? Any subtitle translations? Like you see with the Japanese films was a subtitle?
Nothing. Just no sound, no talking. So the kids are enamored with that. Coco Melon. Come on, think about what's teaching them right now that we can look at. Ain't no more Barney and Sesame Street. Where's that?
I think Sesame Street is still around. I don't know.
Gracie's Corner, she'd be like, let's do the ABCs. But still, again, the parents got to learn how the kids are learning it, singing it to teach the kids because the songs are different.
Yeah, that's the thing. We may have done our dirt when we were younger in the 20th century, but we still had to learn how to live life. We still had the educational tools to be able to articulate ourselves and do things correctly. These Gen Z, I'm just not seeing it with them.
I know correctly.
Yeah, and now my god kids, my 19-year-old godson, 24-year-old goddaughter, they're doing pretty good for themselves. They're raised by their father's pretty old school himself. We're both millennials.
Well, they're on the other side of this this right here, right? So this is kids who are 14 and 15 because it's 7th graders, so that's 13 right now. So 7th grade. If your kids are 19 and 20 now, they got out of that. They're not part of this group of kids that can't read. They might be a part of the group of kids that started not knowing how to read. They might be the last group of kids that know how to read.
Yeah, ain't that something? But
Ain't
yeah,
that
fair
something?
use. Fair use.
Not struggling to read Dipping Dot flavors.
And she looks at me dead in the eyes and goes, I can't read.
So what actually happened? Well, if you ask people, you'll get different answers every single time. Some will say it's TikTok, some will say it's the iPads, some say it's the pandemic, some say the parents or the teachers, or it's something
All
called
of it.
Skibbity Toilets, which apparently is not even a thing anymore, according to my sources. Anyway, personally, I like to say it's a combination of all of those things and more. So let's start with the pandemic, which honestly, looking back, didn't even feel real because we as a society were so ill prepared to deal with what happened. And somehow the solution to all of this was just to put a bunch of kids on Zoom calls and hope for the best.
Different paragraphs. Yes, Sarah?
Oh, don't get me started with that shit. 6 years ago when COVID, when that virus took off, oh my God.
What about
I think
it?
that, yes, I think that virus made things worse because now kids got to sit at home and try to, do all these little Zoom call meetings. Now, my thing is this. You see, I work for a school bus district. I can barely get these kids to sit their asses down during the bus rides. So good luck trying to get them to sit their asses down in front of a goddamn webcam with no adult with little to no adult supervision around. You can't physically make them do anything at that point.
Well, yeah, there was definitely some challenges that were going to come from that. But at the end of the day, I think we was kind of like, well, what are your options? Because these kids still have to go to school, right? Because they weren't sitting down at school either. It's just that they were what you were like. You're an autopilot going to school, right? At this point, you're autopilot. So and then the how you tend to act a certain way outside than you would act at home. So once all that changed, because you got to remember if you're raising your kid on that foundation, hey, he up here arguing with somebody. Y'all hear him? If you're raising your kid on that foundation, and you be like, well, don't act like this when you're not at home. Well, when they at home but they supposed to be at school. You know what I'm saying? Usually the good behavior be saved for going to school. But since they're not going to school, I can see that, like, well, how am I going to be, I'm supposed to be good, but I'm supposed to save this good behavior for when I leave the house. I haven't done that yet.
Yeah, and shout out to King Picks. And shout out to King Pitt. Thank you for stopping by as well. He said, imagine having ChatGPT as a kid. I never write an essay. I write a single essay. I can imagine.
Mm-hmm. You don't have to do nothing.
He also said these kids' brains are fried. They can't sit alone in a room, write an essay on a piece of paper. We just talked about that earlier.
Mm-hmm. They can't. They said, go sit.
I'll drop the link in a little bit, but let's continue. Fair use.
There you go. Okay. I'm not gonna lie. If I was a teacher during this time, I would have lost my mind.
Music, turn it off. I will mark you as absent. Okay. Music off.
Please tell me that's a pen in his mouth.
Okay. Why are you, Mr. Morales? Why are you putting all that money there?
No, I
was this little boy flaunting money on a Zoom meeting? My God.
That's what I'm saying. They're gonna justify that it's only supposed to be good when they leave the house, right? So now you want him to make sense of it, which he don't have to because he's at home.
And he's an older kid, so I'm guessing he's in his room by himself with no supervision. Had it been like at least 11, 12 years old.
Homework. I mean, to do his schoolwork.
Yeah. Maybe I don't know. Maybe we were raised differently. I don't know, but this ain't looking good for this new generation of kids. I mean, trying to put a bunch of kids on a Zoom call meeting, that's just, to me, that sounds weird in of itself. Well, these kids have access to technology, but come on. You would think for a generation that's so advanced in how to use laptops and iPads, they would be smarter than the previous generations put together. I mean, let's face it, when we were kids coming up, I used to struggle trying to operate my mama's VCR or my uncle's DVD player.
You did? How did you struggle?
or this big ass boombox my mama has locked away in the basement or whatever. I mean, I learned it eventually, but still.
Oh no,
Press
honey! I
play.
was the one you called to get to program everything because couldn't nobody figure it out. So I didn't.
Well,
I
that
had the
too.
opposite issue. I was the one that everybody was like, "Oh shoot, let me call Jen."
Even when you were a
We
kid,
got
now
to do
that
VCR. I
happened
remember
for me when
as
I got
young as
older.
no, when I was younger, because whatever it was, when it was the stereo, hooking up the speakers, like making sure that the yellow plug was with the yellow, the yellow, white, and red plugs was hooked up right, all the way up to the VCR, all the way up to the damn DVD, all the way up to recording on the what was it called? We can do the recording during the day on the dish,
DVR?
whatever it was, the DVR, right? Oh, when DVR came, my mom and them was really like, oh hell no. But they damn sure couldn't do the VCR. And they damn sure couldn't do the DVR and the CD and all that shit and get movies and download and record the story, the General Hospital from the middle of the
Well,
day.
to be fair, I get what you're saying. To be fair, now when I got older, yes, I had to show my mama a whole lot of things. I had to hook the VCR to the TV and put the cable in the VCR together. We had to work together on that. So yeah, and like I didn't learn. I'm just saying that was our struggle growing up as kids. How to operate the VCR, how to operate the TV, that kind of stuff. These kids got iPads and laptops and everything. It's like they don't understand analog struggle. It's all digital for them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was our struggle, just trying to operate basic stuff. But these kids with all this access, you would think they'd be smarter. We had to learn and adapt. Trial and error for us. For these kids, just everything is just at the push of a button.
Yeah.
All right, let's continue. Fair use.
Like, I would have quit, like, immediately because what is this? And it's not like there were any consequences for being disruptive in Zoom either, because you can't really give detention over Zoom. Like, what is a teacher gonna do? Kick you out of the call? Oh no, I guess I'll go play Minecraft now.
Mr. Morales, why are you putting all that money there?
Now, the kids that I feel the worst for aren't even the ones that are messing around, right? It's the ones that started school during all of this. Because those first few years are the ones where basically everything starts. It's when you learn how to read, write, basically listen, follow instructions, and how to exist in a room with other kids without being disrupted. And a lot of that just does not translate through a screen, especially if you're like 5.
Waving, can you wave hi to your friends?
Wave.
Hi, buddy.
Wave.
Can you give us a smile? I see your wave.
I love how she goes from wave to wave. Wave.
Hi, buddy.
Wave. And yeah, I'd be side-eyeing too, because imagine this.
Imagine telling your 5-year-old child to wave to a stranger on a laptop or iPad as on your first day of school because of the virus.
Right. That's why she said it was more so affecting the kids who started school for the first time versus the ones who've been in school and came back online.
Yeah, at least those kids had the chance to adapt to a classroom setting and get used to each other. But what about the kids who are just starting preschool? I don't know, in 2021, fall 2021. Now we still on the social distancing type shit. Or fall 2020 when fall 2020 when the virus was still ongoing. Imagine that. All right, let me drop the link first because there's people up there begging to come up. And as long as no weirdos come up here.
Oh, wow.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I'll be dropping the link if anybody want to come up. I know King Pick had a lot to say on this, but I want to hear other people got anything to say on this. Any of y'all have kids or work in the school district or whatever? You've seen this stuff firsthand. Share your thoughts in the comments or come on up here and let's talk about this. All right, let's continue. Fair use.
This is your first experience with education, and it's some strange lady you've never met before on a screen telling you to smile.
Can you give us a smile?
On top of that, you'd have your audio lagging, your video freezing. Half of the class wouldn't be paying attention, and the internet would cut out because someone decided to use the microwave. Oh, just me. Must be nice. And that's just assuming you haven't had like a nice setup to start with, because if you were in a crowded apartment, sharing a device with siblings, while your parents are also trying to work from home, right? Good luck learning anything. So by the time that classrooms opened back up, a whole generation of kids had spent their formative years learning that school is something that happens on a screen. They can scroll TikTok from their phones while sitting in a class. And teachers are just a voice on a screen. And learning is optional when you can just turn your camera off.
Antonio.
Oh my God, this is ridiculous. I mean, Kind of like how we did in school, playing our video games in between classes or trying to be slick and play it during class when the teacher ain't looking. But this is ridiculous. Again, we had to be proactive back when we were younger doing this kind of stuff. Now these kids could be just doing any and everything during a Zoom call meeting. You don't know what they're doing behind that camera. Well, off camera anyway. So yeah, this is crazy. He got the look at that. He got the tablet right here, and I don't know what he's playing up there. I'm guessing it's Fortnite, but he got that thing playing.
Mhm.
How you gonna play the game and listen to the teacher at the same time? I don't know. These folks can't even read. You know their attention spans can't be that damn great. Just saying. How class was during quarantine in 2020. Okay.
Yes. Where were you? I was here the whole time. My Wi-Fi was lagging.
That being said, though, depending on when you're watching this, COVID was a long time ago, and a lot of
6 years.
teachers are starting to say the same thing, that at some point we have to stop using it.
It says it's almost 2026. COVID was nearly 6 years ago. It's time to stop using it as an excuse of why kids can't read. Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And didn't even last that long. It ended somewhere between 2022 and 2023. Cause that's when everything started opening back up from what I noticed anyway.
It lasted 2 years. No, it lasted 4 years.
You sure it was 4 years or not 2 or 3 years?
Let me see.
Heck, you might be right. I don't know.
I want to say. Hold on. Let's ask Siri. Hey, Siri.
Okay,
How
I got
long
somebody.
did COVID-19 last?
Well, while you do that, I got somebody in the back. Hold on a second. Dang, what is this? Ah, there it is. Dr. Steele, is that you?
Can you hear me?
Your mic's a little low, but I can hear you. Your mic's a little low, but I can hear you.
It's deep. So, do you remember when Dr. Pruitt claimed that I was her accomplice?
Yes, I do.
I lied to you, hustler. I am
Say
her
what?
accomplice. I didn't
You
know
sound
what
like
I was
an
getting
AI.
myself into. I
That's
seriously
an
didn't.
AI.
I was
Hang
a
up.
fool, an absolute fool, and I am so sorry. I am the reason this shit went
Hang
down.
up. That's a fool. You must
What
say
the
hang
hell
up.
was that?
I said that was an AI. Hang up.
How you know that was a? Well, I heard the sound after the fact, but hey, that didn't. Well, it sounded like Dr. Steele, but something told me that could not have been him. He didn't give me no greeting or anything. So, see the kind of shit I gotta deal with. I'm surprised it don't happen on your end, but okay. Anyway,
speak that
anybody
into
want to
my life.
say what?
I said, don't speak that into my life.
I will. I'm not trying to jinx you. I'm just saying, but let's continue. Fair use.
It as an excuse. Because if your kid still can't read, write, or have any social skills, you cannot blame COVID anymore. And yes, that period of time did rewrite how we do school, how kids learn, and how parents, parent. And yes, for a while everything was chaotic. There were no rules, no structure, and no real accountability. And honestly, that made sense for the time. But the problem is we never fully went back. Okay, if anything, we stayed in COVID, because when you compare it to how things were before, it really starts to feel like we've relaxed way too much as a society when it comes to expectations. Like, for example, I get it that back then it was okay to just throw your iPad at your kid if you needed to do some work from home for 20 minutes. But that was supposed to be temporary. And instead it became like the new normal. And now you just see kids with iPads everywhere, in restaurants, airports, while they're grocery shopping. And babies are being handed iPads before they could even learn to say, Mama. Come with me to Best Buy to get my 1-year-old toddler's iPads.
Okay, who the fuck buys a 1-year-old toddler an iPad? Seriously. I'm like, what the fuck? When I was 1 year old, I could barely play a Nintendo Entertainment System, let alone operate a computer. So what the fuck is going on here?
When you were one, you can barely. You were learning how to grasp and learn that all your fingers and toes were doing. You're 12 months old. What do you mean holding the controller? You can barely hold a bottle. You're
I
just
know.
learning that
That's
your
my
hands,
point.
you
That's
know,
the
your
whole damn
hands are
point.
doing. Yeah, you can't hold anything. So COVID started in 2019 and it went over 3 years. So it went almost 4 years. They say it lasted. The health emergency was declared May 5th, 2023, and then that lasting over 3 years. So 2019 to 2023, the end of 2023 or 2024. They said over 3 years, so that would put it into 2024
Oh,
when it
okay.
finally like officially ended. I
All right,
guess.
that makes sense. Yeah, that makes
So 4
now
years,
from what I understood,
3 years.
I was told they've been talking about the virus ever since November of 2019, but nobody was paying attention. And I believe it because even back then I didn't even hear nothing about it until February of the following year. So it's possible it was going
I
on.
caught it in October of 19, and then
Damn.
my the person I was with, he caught it twice. So he caught it we caught it around the same time, and then in February, like you said, in February, that's when it was like declared something. Because when I went to the hospital for it, they just said I had like pneumonia, like upper respiratory infection, and when he went, they said he had the flu. Like they didn't know what they were calling it. Like everybody were going with the same symptoms, but we all were told something different. And then around February, like you said, that's when they realized, oh wait, people can catch it again. Because remember, people had been like, oh, I caught COVID twice. I've had COVID 3 times. Some people only caught COVID once, and that was it. But then he caught it again. He got sick again, the same exact sick all over again. But that was by then when they knew what it was, and that's when we was wearing masks and all that. But yep,
Oh, okay.
yeah. So that was about
I mean,
2019.
yeah, that's just kind of how I remembered it.
It
We
wasn't
didn't
even an
start.
emergency until like 2023,
I'm
2022.
I'm gonna say 2 months. I'm gonna say 2 weeks after what's his name, basketball player Kobe Bryant passed away in that helicopter crash. That's when I started hearing about the virus. So end of February going into March, that's when they start, making it a big deal. But that's what I was
That's
told
late too,
anyway.
yeah. Mhm.
That's what I was told. It started in 2019, but we didn't start hearing about it until 2020.
Mhm.
2019, I was still going out having a good time. When I got off work or whatever on my off day, I was still going out. Nobody was wearing a mask or nothing. No testing or nothing. Everything was still in full swing. But let's continue. Fair use.
Come to Best Buy with me and my baby girls. I am gonna buy them some iPads.
Now, at first I thought she was joking because what do you mean 1-year-olds are getting iPads? I thought she was gonna take them instead to a bookstore or maybe a game store. No, she's dead serious.
Let me see how she looks with an iPad in her hand. Is it too big for you?
She don't know what to do with the goddamn thing. What the fuck we talking about here? They just pushing buttons. This is what parents are doing now. Buying their little kids iPads before they're old enough to speak.
That's crazy.
A lot of kids in my generation didn't get their first gaming console till they were at least in preschool. I'm talking 3, 4, 5, 6 years old. We barely knew how to operate a computer back then, but now we're giving toddlers, as in kids who are barely old enough to walk and talk on their own, iPads. What's this generation coming to? What is this generation coming to?
What are they gonna do with an iPad? But it's gonna be a mess. That's not even the ones you get for a baby. You don't get that. You get them the Nabi, where it's got the big rubber border around us outside, and it's a big old. It has 6 buttons on it. It sings the same songs over and over again. You get them an iPad. You get them the little kitty version of that. You know what I'm saying? That thing is a kid version of an iPad. You don't get them the real iPad. What's wrong with?
Yeah,
I can't-
with the
I
buttons
can't do
kind of
that.
built with the buttons built into it. that kind of thing.
Yeah, well, no, like they have the Nabi, right? My nephew had a Nabi, and it was like it's like an iPad. It's actually online. It's a computer, um, but it wasn't an iPad like how like that one looks like one that me and you can use. His iPad, it had a big old rubber border around it, so it was actually small, but the border made it big, right? And that way, if he dropped it and picked it off his little table, he would or stepped on it, whatever, he wouldn't break it. But it had like six touch buttons on it, and those were for the like ABC learning, numbers, songs, nighttime, rest and nappy music. It had 6 controls, 6 buttons, 6 big, huge squares, and he would be able to touch the square, and he would touch the square, and it would play a song, and then it would play 6 songs. Wasn't none of this iPad, but it looked like that though. It looked like an iPad. You know what I'm saying? It was the similar shape and similar. If you look it up, it's I think it's called a Nabi, and it's really basic. It's like a It's the same format and the same principle as the iPad, but it literally doesn't have any controls on it. You can't just jump on the internet. You can't be doing nothing. You're not flipping through anything. It has literally and the buttons that you push are shapes. So everything is learning. So on the Nabi, everything's learning. Even when it wakes up, it wakes up and it's like, "Good morning, hustler." It's today we're learning our ABCs. It like all does that. It's only built for babies. So what are you talking about iPad? That's an iPad me and you can use. That's an adult iPad, not a kid version of an iPad. That's crazy. They dropped that thing, it's over with. What do you mean?
Yeah. It really is. Yeah,
And the
that's a
kids
good
grow
point.
out of it as soon as they learn how to read, because it's after they learn the alphabets, because the same songs over and over again. So once you hit the A, B, C button, the same 6 songs pop up. So the kid can't even go online and do all this crazy stuff. So, and then it has this big old rubber border. So, you know what is a 1-year-old going to do with an iPad? Drop it. That's
Uh-huh.
crazy. That's crazy. What the
I
hell?
mean, how many times do we drop our parents' TV controls on the floor when we were kids?
I mean, that's crazy, though. Look at them getting an iPad. Like, they're going off to college.
Mm-hmm. I didn't get my first smartphone until I graduated college. Shit.
That's
All right,
crazy.
it is. Let's continue. Fair use.
My goodness, they're so little. Okay, I decided on an iPad. I'm getting 2, of course.
It's so crazy to think that I got my first iPhone when I was, I think, 14, and now 1-year-olds are getting iPads. What? Listen, I get it. Raising kids is really hard. I'm not pretending that it isn't. But is it so hard? The solution is just a screen millimeters away from their face with flashing colors and bouncing shapes to keep them entertained. Like, I feel like we skipped a few steps there, because all you really need to do to entertain like a 1-year-old is peekaboo. Like,
That's how it was back in the day. That's how we were entertained back in the day when we were toddlers. So hey.
A 1-year-old.
Yeah, that's funny to a 1-year-old, but still, that's how we were entertained back then.
Wow.
All right, let's continue. Fair use.
literally, that's it. We went from peekaboo to handing them a fully optimized, highly addictive dopamine machine before they could barely even walk. I feel like that's a little extreme.
I'm a retired middle school teacher here, but I do sub now, and I sub a lot in kindergarten. Here's what I like about teaching, and I want to talk about the iPad kid. I see kids who cannot use their words. They don't know how to wait their turn. They can't hold scissors. They don't know how to hold a pencil. They don't know how to spell their own name. By the time your child gets to kindergarten, they should know their ABCs, and they should know a lot of their numbers. I'm not telling you everything has to be perfect, but as I sub, I am seeing a lot of children with a lot of those deficits. But there's one thing they do know how to do, and that is how to turn on an iPad and how to use it.
Now, first in my boomer brain, I thought that this was just bad parenting, right? Parents are handing their kids iPads from when they were 1 and letting them get hooked, and it's affecting their development. I thought that was the obvious answer, right? Then I realized that it's actually not just the parents. It's the schools too. A report found that 94% of public schools surveyed provided digital devices to students in 2022.
Now that's something I heard of when I started working for the bus company. Some of these schools are providing kids with these digital devices or whatever. and they got to turn them in at the end of the school year. That's just something I heard about recently.
Well, I understand why, but you're saying we're saying digital device, and you're thinking iPad, and you're thinking like what they're talking about now about them, them being able to use an iPad but can't read and stuff. But the digital devices also include our Kindles and ebooks, right? So that makes sense for us moving into this age that we're in, where kids aren't carrying around books anymore from each class because so much of the learning is on digital format. So that would make sense on some levels, right? If they can afford it, there's no books in the school because everything's on the Kindle, and each kid gets a Kindle that has all their books on it. Or each kid gets they have different versions of, they're not even computers. Well, nowadays they probably are full out laptops so that they can do their homework and do everything on there. But I know at one point, for some institutions, it was just a Kindle, or it was a ebook, right? A digital device, but the only thing on it was your information you needed for school. It wasn't for you to be up here surfing the net and be up here on TikTok. That's not what they were giving. Now you get a full out laptop, and you can be on that TikTok. You can be on there playing your video game and do all that. But before, at some point, it wasn't just an outright tablet. The tablets were limited. They were ebooks, or they were, to help them write the papers, because they're not carrying around books anymore, Hustler. Where you see books at?
Now, to be fair, some of the kids,
some
of the kids I see on the bus, they don't have book bags with them. Some of them.
But even the ones that have book bags, there's no books. But there's a tablet in there, and in that tablet, there's probably that has a Kindle app, and then on the Kindle app is all the books they need for school.
That's what they're doing
on the
now?
ebook.
Holy shit.
Yes, yeah, that's why I was saying it makes sense if you're, for some institutions, because there's no more hard copies of books anymore. Everything's on the ebook, or it's on a Kindle, or they can download the audiobook now. They still have workbooks. They might have a workbook. They might have to write down information or answer questions or answer, worksheets or whatever for some levels. But for a lot of them, there are no hard copies. The kids are getting on. You see the kids running around the school. They're not carrying around 6 and 7 books, one for each class.
Oh,
they're not doing that no more. They're not having algebra, English, math, science, geography books in their backpacks. Those, they have electronic books, and they have one tablet for all that.
Damn, that's wild. Okay, hold on. I got somebody in the back. Guru, is that you?
Guru.
Yeah, hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you loud and clear.
He said it's him.
Okay. How you doing, Mr. Guru?
I was doing okay until Genesis told you that Dr. Steele was an AI. He came in to deliver an important message, mate.
No, that wasn't AI, because it wasn't even responding to him talking to him.
He was delivering an important message.
Yeah,
Genesis.
but that's not what that was. So no, you guys can hang out. I'm gonna leave.
He was
'cause
delivering
I'm not
something
gonna
very
sit here and
important.
deal with this.
Hold on.
No, mate.
Mr. Guru, I need
I'm
you to
not doing that.
calm down.
That's not.
Mr.
This sounds like some crazy mess I'm not dealing with.
Okay, well, I put him in the back for you.
That's crazy.
It's all good. I put him in the back for you. You're not gonna run my guest off, so come on, we ain't doing that. Oh, he dropped down. See what I got to deal with.
Too much. So let's go.
All right, let's continue. That's what they're doing now, giving these kids devices. Kind of like in school. I mean, we had computers in school, but they were inside the school, and we had to use them, properly. Yeah, a few mofos in my high school were using the internet, but that was after school. And plus, we had one rule: don't be looking at no porn shit.
Well, a lot of them is blocked out, right? They have it. You can't even access certain websites from inside the school, even in college.
Yep, that too.
So it's blocked out. So, but nowadays, you notice that The kids don't have a whole. They're not. They may. I mean, I'm not saying there are no books. Somebody gonna clip this and be like, Genesis said there ain't no more school books no more. I'm not saying that. There are probably some school books around. My nephew don't have a lot of school books. He got a book with all his paperwork in it and all his like workbooks and stuff that he needs to do. But that's the actual book that we used to carry around. I used to have 6 books in my backpack. Them books is not nowhere. They gone. Now my nephew has a tablet, and on his tablet are the books that he needs for his classes, like his algebra book and his geography book. His workbook is in his book bag. So him to actually do the algebra and do the math and turn that into the teacher, that he has on him. But the actual book, the hard copy they used to give us, turn to page 36 and do the odd and do all the even questions, and no more hard copy book. He got a tablet for that.
Yeah, that's kind of wild.
Mm-hmm.
And also, to be fair, when I be on the bus, I notice that these kids do be. I know, like one little boy had this big old iPad or whatever they just took home. At first, I thought it was his own personal iPad that he takes to school with him. But based on what you're saying, who knows? Maybe it's more to that.
Yeah. Just think about. Remember, you used to have English book. Then you had to have your English reading book, whatever your reading assignment was, right? So if you had to read Shakespeare, you got to have that book. Then you had to have your math book in your backpack because you had math. And then you drop your books off at your locker and you only take the books you have for the next class, because otherwise you were carrying all your books around for the whole day. And folks, backpacks would be heavy. Now, where do you see heavy backpacks at? When you see the kids running around, why aren't their backpacks just falling off them heavy? Because there aren't no books in them. There's not a lot of books. There's stuff in there, but it ain't no big old 300-page, 500-page English book, hard copy English book, with the American flag on it and all that. So no. So yeah, they are giving them devices. However, it's to the point now that they're getting outright laptops. So at least before, even on the lower level, they were getting tablets, but they were limited at what they can do with the tablet. They couldn't just be up here surfing the net willy-nilly. Now they get a laptop that's just a regular laptop. So they can do what the hell they want to do on that laptop, including their homework.
Yeah, that's true too. Because now that I think about it, when I was in high school and college, we had access to the internet on those computers, but they were restricted. You couldn't look at certain. This is way before Facebook. Sometime before MySpace took off, so we couldn't really go surfing like that. We were not on MySpace in high school. I discovered MySpace in 2006, so it's different for college. But they still have restrictions on the website. You couldn't just look up any old thing. So they had those restrictions.
But now there are none, because you just get a regular laptop, because you can be able to do your homework and log online and log into the class. And now you don't even have to be in the class during the lecture, because you can log on to the portal and rewatch the lecture because the lecture is recorded, like shit like that, Or you don't even have to have a syllabus, because the syllabus is online, but you just log on to the portal and you have an app on your phone. And now you get all the syllabus from your teacher. That was before you had to go to the teacher to get the syllabus of what the class is going to be about and all what books you needed. Now you just download everything and you just meet your teacher online. You download the app, you scan the barcode, and then now you're going to school.
Oh, that's how they're doing it now. Hold on a second. Wody, is that you?
Hey, Wody.
Wody, is that you? Don't tell me your mic acting up again. Wody, is that you? Wody.
I know Wody. Well, let him fix the mic.
Wody, is that you? Yeah. I hope it is him.
Can you see him? You've seen him before, right?
Yeah, he's been on my show many times, in fact.
So you know what he looks like.
Yeah, but it's somebody been hacking pages and stuff like that. You saw Dr. Eugene Steele got hacked, so.
So who cammed up when they cammed up in the back? Who do you see?
Well, I didn't see Wody came up in the back. He's been on cam before, but.
So then you might want to make
Oh,
them cam up
Genesis, he
first.
saw me.
Okay,
He
get
saw
out of
me.
here.
See?
See, I told you that wasn't him. This is what I'm talking
Well,
about.
who cammed up when you said, "Hey, Wody," back there? Nobody's on camera.
No, I didn't see him on camera. That's why I had to put the banner up there. See what I have to deal with.
Are you on StreamYard? Right.
Yep, I'm on StreamYard.
Okay, so when they pop up at the bottom, they have to turn their camera on, and only you can see them.
Okay.
That's what I mean. Who was on camera when they pop up in the back? That you don't. That's not. You're not putting up no banner because nobody can see them. You haven't added them to the stage. So when they're at the bottom, when the little square is at the bottom, and you see them in their square, then they turn their camera on, and you only the person that can see them is you. Now, when you leave them back
I
there,
see how that works.
you see how that works? So you don't even have to put up the banner because they're not on the stage. They're not on the screen with us. And that's why you tell them cam up. And then who do you see in that little camera down there? And if you've seen Wody before, that ain't him, then, that's what I do. When I first log on, I wave my camera, even though that's my avatar. I still show you my camera.
Yeah,
You'll
but
see me before you'll know what I look like, so you know if that's me or not.
of course.
Yeah.
I know. I mean, you be on camera a lot less now than you did back then, but you do be on camera. So I know you.
Right.
So I
make
get
them
what you're
cam up
saying.
back there where they're back there with you. Make them cam up.
All right.
And if they don't want to cam up, then bye, nigga. What you doing? That's
And plus, I
crazy.
know I.B. Wody. I.B.
Right.
Wody ain't got no problem showing himself on camera. He did it before in the past.
Mhm. He got a head full of hair. He's like showing them waves.
Mhm. At least he got hair. Shit. Okay, let's continue. Fair use. Yeah, you'll get used to it, but let's continue. Fair use.
94%. So it's like not something you just get on the weekends. No, it's something you have all day, every day, during school, after school, literally all the time. There was actually this reporter who visited a kindergarten in Seattle and saw something kind of insane. There were kids sitting on the playground before school, locked into their school-issued iPads. And she made a simple point. I do not know any educator, parent, or child expert who hasn't been bought by big tech who would argue that scrolling on an iPad before school instead of running around playing with friends is inherently better for children, especially when we know that those same children are about to enter a building where they will continue to use that same device while seated in their desks in the classroom. Now, iPads on the playground alone is shocking enough, but we also have some recent data showing that children ages 8 to 18 average 7.5 hours per day on screen-based media outside of school. So when do they ever get a break?
Shift. That is a
7.5
shift at work.
hours.
That is a shift at work, okay? That is a job. You done clocked in and clocked out at 7.5. 7.5 hours is an 8-hour day minus your lunch. Okay? 7.5 hours is an 8-hour work day. Take off a half an hour for lunch because you don't get paid while you're on lunch. You work 7.5 hours. And that's what you get paid for. That is a whole shift.
Well, that's what they doing. Spending
That is
7.5
a
hours per
whole
day on
shift.
an electronic device instead of being outside. Now, you would think when the kids go outside, that's the best time to turn off their devices and engage with each other. That's how we did it. We played video games indoors. Maybe had a Game Boy or Game Gear or what they call it, Nintendo 3DS. But we use that shit more sparingly, and we made time to engage with other people back then. I'm not seeing the balance with this new generation from what I'm noticing. The balance is being distorted.
And then the game stuff was for us to bring because it was remember it would be like a rainy day because that means we weren't going to be doing anything, especially for the people that was going outside or interacting, or we had activities with the that were physical. They said, oh well, we was going to play outside, so everybody pull out your iPad since we're just going to stay inside and learn. But even then, it wasn't even the whole iPad factor. Even then, it was just like bringing in the TV to watch a movie in class. Like anything digital like that to separate you from reading the books was like a dessert. It was a special occasion. It wasn't like pull out your iPad every day. It was like, okay, well today, since since the XYZ happened, we're gonna do this today, and then this is why you get to use your iPad. Not every day. That's crazy work.
Yeah,
And then to
aka
go back in the building and then use the iPad all day and then use it on the playground. No, that's too much. That's
that's too much.
overdose.
That is too much screen time. I mean, sure, we had our video games when we were kids, but we didn't play it that goddamn much.
Shit, you was in school half the day, and then you had to do homework, and then when you finally got done with everything, you can finally play with your video game. So you probably play with your video game less time than you slept. Because you was at school most of your whole day. That was your job. You was at school 8 hours a day. And then think about it, when you get home, you only have from the time you got home and the time your mama said go to bed. So what, 7.5 hours, there ain't even that many hours left before you have to go to bed. Between the time of getting out of school, ain't no 7. Where you get 7 more hours from?
You don't get it. That's the thing. You don't get it.
What did they talk about?
Unless you want to be slick and just play the game, you know.
In the
while you-
bed, right. Only supposed to be in
Yeah.
there asleep.
Who didn't do that when they were kids?
You supposed to be in there sleep. Take your ass down to bed.
And Kingpin said, I hear those Chinese kids particularly sleep at school. Chinese kids? Damn.
But see, some cultures they incorporate a nap too in the day. They like that power nap. So they believe that like helps you. That's why they be in school.
Oh, that.
Yeah. They believe that.
Yeah, we did
They
that when
do
I was
that
in
work.
preschool. Yeah, we did that when I was in preschool. We would in the morning eat breakfast, work during the evening, have lunch, and then it's nap time until like I don't know 1 o'clock in the 1 o'clock or something like that. So yeah, we had that, but that was like the preschool kids.
Well, no, I think like some Japanese they do that like throughout the day. They have like rest periods. They have like meditation. And they're in school a lot longer. The day is longer for them but they include a whole entire rest because they think it's like an essential to the balance to learn and then go and then rest and then eat and all that. They don't have the structure that we have.
Okay, it makes sense. I got somebody in the back, and yes, he did cam up. Oh, sorry, my bad. Force a habit. Johnson Clyde, is that you?
Hello, Genesis.
No.
It's me, Michael Jackson.
You know this guy?
No.
Yes,
I don't know.
me.
Whoever it is, how did you cam up and don't know who that is, Hustler? Who did you see?
I've never seen this guy before.
Okay,
He's
well,
some-
if you've never seen them, don't let them on your panel. If you haven't never seen them, even if they do cam up, camming up is just to tell you that it's an actual person versus someone back there playing. Like, I see a human. But if you don't know that human's face, then I don't know you, nigga.
But hey, that's just how I do my show. It's an open panel. Anybody can come up. Just don't come up here with no bullshit. That's all I gotta say. If they come up
Right,
with
but
some
if you
bullshit, I'm
don't
kicking
know
them off.
them, right? But if so far you 0-3 for actually knowing who is hitting your link, I would take that odds and change up how I'm letting them up on the panel. Anybody can come, but how about anybody I know right now? The rest of y'all niggas I don't know, you all can eat a dick. But the people that I do know, how about all you guys are welcome? Because right now you 0-3 for people you know that's hitting your link. Right now, 3 people that you don't even know hit your link. And I'm like, okay, anybody can come, but
Well,
it's got to be
hold
somebody
on.
I absolutely know because you 0-3 right now.
Yeah,
That was three
not
times.
exactly, because let's not forget somebody was pretending to be Dr. Eugene Steele, and then somebody was, and I guess that was
And
Ivy
that's
Ward that
you
came up
didn't
there
know
earlier.
him. IB Wody didn't hit the link. That wasn't him. Remember, they was like, Genesis. So that wasn't even him. And then this last one, that wasn't even that person. So that is 3 instances back to back where we don't know who the fuck this is. I don't mean to be cussing. So how about it's like
all
if they came
good.
to your door, okay? If they came to your door and you look out the peephole, Hustler, and you like, I don't know who that is. Why are you opening the door? Don't open the door. Look out the peephole. I don't know you. And go sit your ass back down and watch TV. And they'll walk away because you don't know who that is. Don't let them in your house. That's your house. But that's how you do. I don't let strangers. I don't know you. So anybody can come up. It's open panel to the people I know that I've recognized their face.
I mean, I put it in subscriber mode.
It's
I get
still,
what you're saying.
but that's part of the YouTube game too, right? People subscribe to everybody so they can have access to you. That's okay because I want you to subscribe. So you can be subscribing, but you right now you got people fucking with you that are subscribed to you. That's fine. Them two things ain't got nothing to do with you being subscribed and then you being an asshole is separate right now. Right now you're dealing with them being an asshole. And if they take their subscription away, then so what? They're assholes right now. They're not helping your channel build or nothing. They're up here being jerks. So you can fuck their subscription. Take you and your one little bell on somewhere. That's crazy. I don't give a stuff. I
Really,
could care less. That's
it
crazy.
really is.
Yeah, up here they're damaging your channel for the sake of a fucking subscription. That one subscription of them leaving, fucking with you. No, take your little bell, unbell yourself, and leave me alone. And that way,
Yeah,
somebody who wants to come up here and talk to you, now they got room to do it. But right now, no, that's messed up. Don't do that. Because if they
all
was
right, I
outside your
get.
door, you'd be like, "Fuck you," and you'd be trying to get your pew pew and be like, "Get the fuck away off my porch."
I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. It's a lot of crazy that's been coming on my show trying to derail it,
Yeah.
but I don't let that shit bother me. And the guy
But it's
is
your
on
show
camera.
and it's aesthetics. Okay, but if you don't recognize them, so someone's at your door, it's a person, you see them, but it's a stranger. Either
Mhm.
if that was really happening, you wouldn't open the door because I don't recognize who you are. So how about my panel
Yeah.
is open to who I know? I'm gonna open the door to folks I know. I'm not
Okay.
opening the door to a
I get
stranger.
what
You
you're saying.
crazy?
I get what you're saying. I guess I'm just trying to make new friends and see who's cool and who's not. 'Cause
No,
I've made
that's
quite a few.
fine. Okay,
I'm
but
you're one of them.
invite people over who invited you over. Start there. Start with folks who let you on
Okay.
their panel, and
'Cause
then
if I remember correctly, I didn't know who you was until like what last summer when you was on one of my late night summer shows with What the Funk. That's when I first met you. You cool
But
people.
I came to another person's panel. You saw me somewhere else first. You saw me other places as
Did I?
well. Yes, because after that you start intermingling with the same audiences. Our audiences are always been intermingling. This sector has that. That's what the sector is. Part of that's what the sector, what goes on over here. My audience, some of my people is your people. Some of your people is easy people. Some easy people is, fatty people. Some of fatty people is everybody's got a little handful of the same group of people. So once you start seeing that person again, you be like, oh, I don't know who this Genesis I Am is. You click on my name and you go to my channel, you be like, okay, she's an actual real person. It's not an AI, not a bot. It's not a bot or someone catfishing. And then you say, hey, that's the same chick I just saw in my chat. There's a real person right there. So it don't
I
take,
see.
but you see what I'm saying? Where you can put it together and be like, oh, okay, she's that's how you end up being cool. Like, okay, well, Hustle Mustard was over here. Then he showed up over here again. Then I came to his panel. Then he came to my panel. Okay, that kind of makes it a
Okay,
little
I
bit
got
more
you.
like,
I got
you
you
know.
now. Here's somebody in the back I really do know. Let me bring this person up real quick. Hold on, let me see. Where is it?
Welcome to the show, let the real game begin. Time to celebrate how the hustlers always win. Yeah, we built this empire from the muscle and the mind, leaving all the competition looking way behind. It's a sophisticated vision with a powerful attack, hustling muscular, and there ain't no turning back. So turn the speakers up, let the synth lead glide. This is where the strong and the proud ones reside.
Welcome to the Hustler and Muscular Show. The Hustler and Muscular Show.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got Creative Solutions, part of evolution. Always welcome to my institution.
All right, see, we got one now. We finally got a real human.
You guys are fucking idiots.
Okay, we got a
Jackson.
Let's go. Let's
Okay.
get out of here. This is not
See what I
working.
mean? You see what I mean?
Did you see her?
You're right. It ain't. That's why I got to put the
Cammed
down.
up?
Right. Yes, I saw her on camera. That's
You
the
saw
thing.
her
And that's what I
little
was trying to tell
face?
you earlier. Even when these
She
motherfuckers
waved?
cam up and I see it's a real person, still I got to be careful. Yeah.
You saw Creative Wave? wave at you?
Yes, I saw Creator Wave. I mean, yeah, I
How is
saw
that
her.
even happening? If I go turn my camera on right now, you see it's me. How is that even happening? You see my hairstyle, you see me talking to you. How is that even happening? And you see the
I
person
don't.
right there. She can talk, you can hear her,
It's, hmm
her
it's these
voice.
goddamn hackers. I don't know what they're doing, hacking people's accounts and using their information. I don't know how, but
But how is she they're able how are they I mean, I know how they I showed y'all the AI video on how they can do it. But how are they even
oh
able
yeah, yeah.
to be a whole person on in the camera? Her background is her, you know what I'm saying? You see her house, the chair she always that she's cams up from. You know what I mean? Like you see her back, her house, they cam up. They usually in the same spot. Are you mad at me? I don't know. How is that even happening?
I wish I knew, but this is what I'm talking about. Must be a Dr. Peru woman, like Ellie Croissant said. But let's get through this show. We gonna continue having a good discussion because that's what I like to do. All right, let's continue. Fair use.
From a screen. Do they ever experience boredom, silence, or just thinking? Because this constant use of short-form rapid technology is creating a multitude of issues, starting with memory and learning.
Random teacher rant. Look, man, I don't know what's going on. I don't know why children are not able to retain information anymore. Like, what's the problem? We just spent 3-4 weeks practicing, rehearsing, going over the lesson, doing worksheets, doing whiteboard work. Repeat it again. And then we come to the test, and I got kids looking at me like, I don't know what to do. Yo, we just spent all this time and you retained nothing. And it'd be different if it was 1 or 2 kids, but it's like 10.
I genuinely think this is, again, the fault of technology, because once you bring a device into the classroom, teachers are having to compete for students' attention. Because while the teacher is trying to explain something step by step, students are being constantly bombarded with information from all directions: social media, the news, online videos, etc. This constant influx of information can make it harder for students to focus and remember what they learn in the classroom. I mean, the brain.
Okay, let me say this. Now, when I was like in high school and college, yes, I did use computers and the internet to research certain things and go more in depth on whatever the topic was for the class. But I use it as a reference, not so much the primary source of my learning. Maybe that's what kids are doing today, relying on technology as their primary source of learning and competing with technology, kind of like with our dating market, pits man against machine. Kind of like in dating market, we got to compete with an algorithm or a group of people that you have options with but don't know from a can of paint. Same thing here. Teachers trying to teach kids who are just basically compelled from learning from a device. That's why I say lack of balance.
And
Lack of
remember, remember your parents are also limited in what they also can help you learn, because a lot of things have changed in how it's presented, right? The information,
Right.
and then in that device, what was I getting ready to say? Because you said, wait, you said something and I just it triggered a thought. You said that they're in the device all day, but everything's in
Yeah.
that device. Everything's in that device. They don't even have to what I was getting
Open
ready
up
to
a
say.
book
Oh, they don't.
anymore.
Well, no, I already said about the book, but they don't even have to learn how to learn. They don't even have to do the steps of learning, right? Remember how we were
Right.
saying just now with the learning how to read, and as long as you know the phonetic, right, the little steps on how to break a word down, you can read anything, right? It doesn't matter what grade you stopped at, as long as you have those foundations, you can learn how to read, and the more you do it, the more practice you'll have at it, the better you'll get, right? So, but they don't have
Absolutely.
like she just was saying how they don't have the steps of learning anything because it's right there. So before you had to do long math, long division, you had to write it out. And forever you're gonna always know, 12 times 12 is 144, right?
No
Because
calculators. No using calculators either.
the learning of learning is not there either, right? They can't retain anything because they're relying on the other thing I was gonna say too about the tablets, what I've seen as well is that they're relying on they also rely on, and I experience this with working with these young people. They rely on they weaponize their incapability. to learn to remember it, and they weaponize it like they're not scheming on on you as an adult hustler. What they're doing is because they know because I want to say this to sound mean, but because they know that the longer it takes them to figure it out, you're going to help them hurry. You're going to hurry it up. They're just relying on the fact that the people that you're impatient, right? And they know they don't have to try so hard because you're going to be like, okay, come on, here you go, right? And they're also relying on almost getting it. Remember I said with spelling the word women, and as long as if I say the word women and I'm pronounced it, the MYN sound does make that same sound. And then, like you said, with the whole potato and the chips, well, at least he's got the right thing. So they're relying on that now. So they don't have to try. They don't have to do all that. They don't have to work so hard. And so that's what she was saying with them retaining information. Why, if enough of us don't retain it, the teacher's just gonna teach us, you know? They could, and that's why the teacher was like, because I've experienced that with them, working with them. I've trained an employee that a 16-year-old, a 17-year-old how to work. I've trained them on the fry station. It's simple. Here go the containers, small, medium, large. And the fact that after I'm done, I've heard people get upset with me and me training. I'm a good trainer, so don't do that. I'm just saying that they've gotten frustrated because now that I realize that, especially with the younger people, when I train the younger people, I have to go back and do checks points in between everything, right? And it's almost you're almost being patronistic, H&M, because you have to be like, okay, if a customer says X, Y, and Z, that means if they upgrade, that means it's not going to be a medium, it's going to be a what? Which I have to even say it like that. And it sounds like you're talking down to somebody because it sounds bad, because me and you know how to read, right? Because if I say to you, it's going to be like, well, damn, Genesis, what are you talking to me like that for? But to them, that's how you have to do it sometimes. You got to be like, okay, so if they order a large, that means you're going to grab what cup? And then you have to make them grab the cup so you can be like, good, that's the right one. You see what I'm saying? Because you just told them, and you just train them, but they're not remembering none of it. But yeah.
Okay, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
It's sad because you're talking to a little kid like they're stupid. Like, okay, well, which bag do you use if it's a one item or two items? Which cup do you get if it's a medium? Yeah. After all that training and orientation.
And where was you working at exactly? A fast food restaurant?
I was training a couple places. I had a couple sit-down casual dining where you come in and sit down, and they come out and the waiter brings the food to you. And I had a couple fast food restaurants. It's even bad in the fast food restaurant because it's simple shit. It's maybe a little trickier in the sit-down dining restaurants because people sitting down. You got to kind of read the room a little bit. But in the fast food, they coming in there asking for a biggie bag. It's only so many shit that can be in the biggie bag. The bag costs the same price every time, but they have problems with it.
Yeah. Okay. So you already understand how that goes firsthand. You already know how that goes.
The bag costs the same price. It's a biggie bag. It's $5 after tax. It's $5.20. The same price, but they be lost. How much is the bag? Biggie bag? How much is it? What size fries go in a biggie bag? A medium? No. There's a picture on the wall if you want to check.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it is. But yeah, I digress. He's not wrong.
Yeah, good to know. Good to know. All right, let's continue. Fair use.
Brain can only handle so much information at once. When it's constantly being fed new data, it becomes harder to store and retrieve important information.
Part of the problem we have in education nowadays is that we're teaching, but students aren't remembering things in their brain. And there's a perfect example of this that literally happened to me today. We spent most of the first semester drilling paragraph and response writing and that sort of thing because my 8th graders did not know how to write paragraphs at the beginning of this year. But I taught them. They knew how to write paragraphs. They could do it. They could label all the parts. We did a whole activity near the end of the semester where they made posters of all the things they learned and put them on the walls displaying student work. And then today, I asked the class, What are the parts of a paragraph? Expecting quick responses, and I get silence. All 6 of my classes today, utter silence. See, I can do high quality instruction as much as I want, but if the students themselves are not engaging with it, I can't force them to do that. I can't step into their brains and make them do it. And yet at the end of the year, if they don't know how to do that, it's going to be my fault.
Now, if you thought things could get more complicated already, we now have AI. And this is where problems shift
Here we go with the AI.
from, attention, memory, and learning to thinking itself. According to a report based on 1,000 parents, 46% of Gen Alpha use AI for research, 44% use it for their schoolwork, and 25% regularly chat with AI bots. Huh? So it's not just essays being written by AI anymore, it's, doing the research, it's giving them the answers, it's doing the whole thinking process itself. And the students aren't the only ones using it.
Hey kids. Hey teach. Welcome back to school. Sorry, who are you?
I'm artificial intelligence.
You're not a student here. You're not even human.
Yeah, but I go here.
But you're not enrolled.
You and I both know that schools all over the country have embraced AI.
Not me, pal.
Oh yeah?
That
Who
is
prepared
creepy.
those worksheets you're about?
Say what?
That sound is so creepy.
It really
My
is.
skin crawl.
Uh-huh.
Oh, fast forward that.
2.5 million teachers use an app called Magic School AI. I'm coming in.
Class, I'd like to welcome our new student AI.
Oh yeah, we know him.
But you're seniors. It's been that long? Yeah, we've been cheating off him since the middle of freshman year. But we don't even have laws to deal with you.
President Trump signed an executive order in April promoting the use of AI for American youth.
Doc, can you take notes for me?
Sure thing. Trump also unveiled a vision of global AI dominance in a 23-page detailed document.
Do you want to teach the class?
Sure. What do you want to learn today?
Nothing.
Okay, I love you.
Now, the biggest problem.
Wow.
Yeah,
Trump did all that for real? Damn.
So there's a video of a guy that's sitting in his college class, and his teacher was pissed, got an attitude with him because he wasn't writing anything down, and he wasn't typing it like on his iPad like everybody else. And the teacher was walking around talking, and he was like asking the professor was asking him like, "What's going on? Right? How you're gonna remember everything I said? You're not writing anything down. You need to take notes. In my class, I require you take studious notes." And he said, "I am taking notes." He said, "My AI is listening to everything you're saying, and even this conversation is drawing bullet points out of everything that you said." And he didn't believe him, and he turned his computer around, and it was a whole outline of everything that the professor was saying. So he didn't even have to take notes in his own class. Remember, you used to have to go and buy notes, something for dummies, the little yellow books that will give you like
I
Cliff
remember those.
Notes. Yeah, you have to go Cliff Notes for dummies, algebra for dummies, but biology for dummies.
I don't know. That name sounds so insulting and makes my blood boil.
But that's that
Computers
book
for
that book would
dummies.
have, but it would be computers for dummies, or it'll be in our day it would be you have to go get a subject, and it would be that subject for dummies, but it would break it down. Every single page of that book will be broken down in that handbook, right?
Yeah,
Algebra
it
for
was,
dummies.
but
Every single thing was broken down. Pythagorean theorem, E plus C squared, the pi 3.14, da 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 da. All that shit was broken down in that book for dummies, in like 6 steps, 8 steps. All that shit your teacher said, yeah. Page 32.
mhm. And Trump passed a law where we can use AI for educational purposes. I mean, it can help, but again, we need the balance. Relying heavily on technology is what's wrong with this world now. I use it myself, but I still got to
You're
go outside.
saying. I can have
curriculum.
AI take notes for me. I don't have to sit here and take notes.
Now, how you gonna learn how to properly read and write and articulate if you're just relying on a machine to do all your work?
And it can take notes, and from those notes, it can write your paper. And you just tell AI what you needed to write.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of reminds me of that old speaking test where you speak into the device and just types it out for you.
Yeah.
The only downside is sometimes it'll misinterpret certain words or whatever. Like if you say waste, it could spell it with the the STE or the other one meaning your side or whatever. It could misinterpret certain words.
Right. Like how we
I
just
have
said
an issue
the
with
cuh
mine.
sound. Right. How we just got finished going through the different sounds of cuh.
Yeah.
And how it won't. But see how they were I don't know if you were watching before when they were talking about the home language. So now they're incorporating home language because young people speak differently in their homes and they speak out in the world, right? Especially folks that have multiple languages. So now they're
Yeah.
incorporating that. So the AI is picking up on some of the dialect and some of the Ebonics and home language that we use. So it's even if you say, "Damn, that's a badass idea right there," H&M. It can the AI can pick that up and it can translate it into a professional saying instead of me saying that was a badass, idea you had. Damn, that was fly as hell. It can read that I'm saying fly as hell, and because it knows Ebonics, it's going to translate that into proper English for me. So it will still write my paper, even though I talk to AI like it's a nigga down the
Okay.
street. Yeah.
Okay. I never heard of it being Ebonic like that, but okay.
Well, that's
Well,
why
then-
they're incorporating home languages. So some people, they realize that's how some people talk at home, in addition to people that speak other languages. So if you're at home, you speak Spanish, and the only time you got to speak English is when you go to school because everybody in your house speaks Spanish. You know what I'm saying? So the AI picks up on that that you speak Spanish and will translate what you're saying into English for you to write your paper.
Makes sense. Okay, I get it. I get it. All right, let's continue. Fair use.
That I have with ChatGPT and AI is that it's not some all-knowing genius, okay? It just generates answers. And sometimes those answers are completely made up. More than 2 years after the arrival of ChatGPT, tech companies, office workers, and everyday consumers are using AI bots for an increasingly wide array of tasks. There is still no way of ensuring that these systems produce accurate information. The newest and most powerful technologies, so-called reasoning systems from companies like OpenAI, Google, and the Chinese startup DeepSeek, are generating more errors, not fewer, as their math skills have notably improved. Their handle on facts have gotten shakier. It is not entirely clear why. Today's AI bots are based on complex mathematical systems that learn their skills by analyzing enormous amounts of digital data. They do not and cannot decide what is true and what is false. Sometimes they just make stuff up, a phenomena some AI researchers call hallucinations. On one test, the hallucination rates of newer AI systems were as high as 79%. If almost 50% of Gen Alpha kids are using AI as an essential tool in their research, it's also likely that at least 80% of that information is wrong. We are so doomed.
This MIT study about AI just revealed something huge. In the experiment, students wrote timed essays using either just their own brains, Google search, or ChatGPT. And the ChatGPT group didn't just do worse, they couldn't remember a single accurate quote from what they had just written. Their brain scans also showed the same thing, the weakest activity and connection between areas, the shallowest processing. The researchers called it cognitive debt. You save effort now, but you pay for it later with worse recall and weaker thinking. Okay, but here's the twist. When students started with their own brain first and only used ChatGPT afterward, their essays actually improved and their recollection of what they'd written was strong. Their brain activity and connectivity remained high. But the students who started with ChatGPT, even when they moved to their own brains, they got stuck in the mental groove that AI created, even when the AI was taken away. So the rule is simple. Brain first, ChatGPT second.
Now look.
Yep, makes sense to me.
That
Use
makes
your head first. Use your head first, technology second, or as a reference like we did back when we were kids. Yeah.
Well, you was doing you was deciding on what you wanted to write about or you wanted to write an essay about, and then you would gather all your own knowledge, right? You say your mama would ask you, your grandma would say, how much do you know about Malcolm X? How much do you know about, Martin Luther King? And then you would go to the library to add your facts and verify your references and check your knowledge. So I guess that would be the same process, because remember I said earlier, the process of learning is changing. What she said, how they go about learning what they learn. So back in the day, that's how we would go about learning, right? We'll be like, oh, I want to write about an astronaut. And then we would go learn about an astronaut. But see, here, you don't have to learn about anything because ChatGPT can just learn it for you. So yeah, that would make sense now. Use your brain first and then go to the resource to like verify and add to it and then, don't use Chat GPT first because you don't even know what Chat GPT said. You just turned the paper in. You don't even know what the paper said. Right? Because on top of that, they can't comprehend what they're reading, so they have no idea what's on the paper. That's crazy.
Yeah, it really is.
That's messed up.
Yeah. Now, when I was in school, I had to do the research first. Read some
Yeah.
books, read some books or whatever, and then as a secondary source, I will go on the internet and find something. Now, from what I understand, if you're going to reference something from an internet vlog or a page, you better reference it. Most important of all, that's plagiarism if you don't. Excuse me.
But who are you going to reference if everything is online? They're all digital references.
Well, you could say
That's
something like
crazy, though.
according to the website Wikipedia or according to the website encyclopedia.com, such and such information. You have to reference this stuff. I learned that when I was in high school and throughout my university days, referencing things, even if they are online vlogs or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, back then we couldn't just rely on technology to get our information. We had to literally go look it up.
And then they can check though. See here, there's so much. Like she said, if almost 89%, 87% is made up information, what reference are you checking that you got from Chat GPT? Because
Yeah,
back
good
then you
point.
can go get the book that I said I read, right? You can go get the newspaper. Remember, well, I'm older than you, but back then it was, the microfiche and the microfilm, and then you print the page out, and that was a newspaper because there wasn't no more newspapers or magazines, articles in circulation. So back then you had to sometimes you even had to print that out back then, or at least definitely write it down on that resource page. And then part of your grade is the fact that your instructor can check a reference.
Yep, that's how we did it. Well, I referenced my sources at the very end of the report.
Right, and that's that's why your instructor would have your paper so long, because they would check a reference to see if any one of those references were true. And they wouldn't even they would just go online or look it up or look for the book or look for look for it. And if they can pull it up and find there was an actual real reference, then part of your grade was on the fact that there were real references. Because people could write down anything and be fake about it. But now, Hustler, if 87% of what ChatGPT saying is made up, how is that a reference?
It's not.
So you have ChatGPT help you write a research paper. Where the hell is he getting this information from if over half is made up?
Good point. That's a very good question. Unfortunately, I don't have an answer for that, because if they're just making up the information as they go along, you can't reference really anything. So
You need to, that's crazy. That's crazy. And these kids are using ChatGPT to write the paper, the research paper.
that's like
And
you
half of
trying
what
to
he's saying is wrong. I mean, made up.
that's like you trying to find a location of a building you don't know, but you have no address book, no references, no GPS to guide you, nothing to go on to help you find this place.
That's crazy now that I think about it. That's a big number. Damn. The
All right,
baby.
let's see what else she has to say. Okay, fair use.
I personally am not completely against AI because realistically, I don't think it's going anywhere. That's why our only option here is to teach the next generation to use it properly. But the biggest problem is that the iPad generation is already at a huge disadvantage because we're talking about kids who struggle to focus, who can't retain information, who are used to getting instant answers for everything. So expecting them to suddenly slow down and question every response, right? To think critically about what they're being told, that's a huge ask.
It's frustrating and it's disheartening because if I ask a child to handwrite something, even just a paragraph, 5 sentences, basic paragraph, they roll their eyes, they throw tantrums. I'm talking about high schoolers. I teach 10th grade now. They get really, really unruly. And because I'm young too, they want to argue with me about it. And they want to say, why can't we just type it? Why can't we just type it? Well, it's because you'll go on another website or you'll copy it or use AI, you'll use ChatGPT. And I understand that our world is going in a direction where where AI is going to be more prevalent even in the workforce someday, that still doesn't take away that these are basic skills you need to survive.
And that's why this doesn't start in the classroom, okay? It starts at home with something as simple as actually helping your child learn. Because guess what? The parent is actually the child's first teacher.
Yep, they actually are.
Yep, I said that.
I've been saying, and I've been saying that for decades.
No shit.
See, that is how you helping them on how to learn. Because once
Yeah,
it's like reading, it's like once you learn how to break down things phonetically. Remember, we just went through the whole different sounds of the different letters that make the sound "k." Once
Yep.
you learn all the different various ways that that sound could be made, there's in that your brain's gonna have a point of reference to help you figure out how to read it. But if you don't got that part, then you're right. You ain't gonna learn. You can't learn. You'll learn how you gonna learn stuff.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point. Because I've said that time and time again. My mama was my first teacher. And I guess my cousins who are Gen Xers like yourself, they were like the second and third dairy teachers, I suppose.
Hmm. And then
Again,
I make things. I remember things being and maybe that's where I got it from too, because I did that. I always would do it with my sisters. I do it with my kids that I had when I was teaching, when I had a preschool and a latchkey class. But it's always been a leverage what something I know or what I wanted up against me getting it, right? So you know how you be like little kids be like, "Oh, Uncle Hustler, can I have some candy?" And you go like, "Okay, well, what kind of candy you want?" "Oh, can we have some Skittles?" Miss Auntie Genesis would be like, "You can have all the Skittles if you could tell me every color in the bag." Now they be struggling to tell me what colors are in the bag, Hustler. What the hell colors are Skittles?
Oh boy.
If you struggling to tell me what color the Skittles are, you can't eat no candy. And that's how I would leverage. It would always be something up. You could eat all the gummy bears if you could tell me what color they are. It's basic colors. Remember, those are the basic red, blue, yellow, and green. The Fruit Loops. You can eat all the Fruit Loops you want. What color are they? What shape is that? Yeah, I've always had to do that, and that's how you can really tell. And that's how I knew that even when I was a kid, my grandmother would be like, "Okay, you can do this, but you got to tell me how much it costs." That means you can't count money and you can't read. So no, you can't do nothing. What you doing? You can't read nothing. So you
Well,
learned back then to pick that shit up.
I had to learn how to count money eventually. I'm gonna say by third or fourth grade, I got the hang of how to count money.
But did you have chores? Did you have like little things that you can earn money for back then?
Yeah, I did chores. I got an allowance, but when you're a child, you don't think too much into that kind of stuff. You just think, can I afford this brand new game? Can I afford this? The only thing I focused on was, like if my mom gave me $20, for example, I can buy something for like $18 or less, $19 or less. That's all I focused on at the time. The counting the change part, I had to kind of grow into that.
Right. So
Whatever.
imagine being your exact that age. How old were you when you were doing that? When you were when you were buying stuff when you knew that how old were you when you knew that if you wanted something and you only had $20, it had to be 18 or less? How old was that?
I'm gonna say between ages 7 and 10 years old, around that time.
Okay, so that's 7 is second grade, 10 is fifth grade, right? So we just saw the teacher say the kids, they don't have that concept at fifth grade. But the other teacher says she's teaching seventh grade, and
Yeah,
they
middle
don't have
school
that.
kid.
They don't have that concept, Hustler, that you said between the ages of 7 and 10 for you. So when you were 7 years old, around 8 years old, 9 years old, or 10-year-old, little Hustler already knew that if he had a $20 bill and he wanted to buy something, he had to stay below $18 in case it was probably taxes. These kids are the same age you were back then, and they have no clue of that. How do I know if that part is true, Hustler? Because I've stood behind 17-year-olds who do not know how to count change back. They can't say, your bill is $6.50. Here is your change. 50 cents, $1, $1. They don't know how to count that. That you give me a $20 bill, your bill is $15.50. They don't know how to say 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So they absolutely don't know how to say, if I have only $20, I only can spend less than $20. They don't have that concept. Is what do you mean? They don't understand that. Because they're still trying to order.
That's just sad.
They'll buy something for $20 and then be surprised they don't have enough money.
Yeah.
You knew at 10 that you had $20 bill, you had to stay below 20 for you to be able to use it. Anything over that means you don't have enough money. You don't got $21, you have 20. But these are 10-year-olds, 11-year-olds, 12-year-olds today who don't understand that concept. And you understood it at 10. Lil Hustler knew that at 10. That's crazy.
Yep, that's the thing. Now, as far as how to count the change aesthetically, I got into that when I was older. I had to start small. That's maybe that's the thing. I started small because, like I said, I understood that when you have a certain amount of money, you can't go above what that dollar amount is. Again, if my mama gave me $20, I know I can buy anything that would cost no more than that 20. So if it's $18, well, I'm getting $2 back in change. Yeah, that's all I needed to know as a child. My 7, 8, 9, 10-year-old brain was just like, I got $20. I'll buy something for $18, $19 or less than that. That's all I need to know. Give me what I want, and it went from there.
See, but these kids today don't understand that. They don't have no idea what that is. That's what they're telling us. What do you mean? I got $20. That means you need to spend less than $20. But no, I got $20. No, you have $19.99. Yeah.
Yeah, that's how I had to learn. And I just went from there. But let's see what else she has to say. Okay, fair use.
I was in Costco today with my husband. I saw a woman who had her 2 children in the carriage, and each child had an iPad and earphones on. They were about kindergarten, first grade. And I said to my husband, those are your iPad kids. And he said, well, what else do you expect the mom to do? I said, the mom could do a lot of things right now. Take the iPads away. Take the kids out of the carriage, let them walk. Teach them how to say excuse me to people that they're coming in front of. Social skill. Ask your child to look for an item using the ABCs. Spelling things out. Maybe doing a little bit of math with your child in terms of how much the items cost. Asking your child to be in charge with the cashier so that they can talk to the cashier to develop those social skills. You see, in Costco at that moment in time, there were so many opportunities for that parent to be a teacher.
Now, all of that sounds really nice in theory, until you realize that a lot of parents genuinely don't care about their kids' education. And some of them even get annoyed when their kids get homework.
So I'm scrolling on Facebook, minding my
Get annoyed when they get homework. Damn.
business as one does, and I came across this post, and it says they done it again. How do I set up a parent-teacher conference? Because baby be effing for real. And I was confused because I didn't see nothing wrong with this. And come to find out, she was upset that her 2-year-old child had homework, which they need to do homework. They need to learn. That's the point of going to school. But I kept going through the shares, and I kept seeing common themes. So the next post I saw was this one, and it says, I'm actually concerned. I just looked at my baby's papers. It's on all papers. Why the dumb school system teaching the babies to spell wrong? And so I was confused, and I was looking at the sheet, and I didn't see nothing wrong. Come to find out, they're talking about where it says color. They think that is.
Look at this spelling of color. Now, from what I understand, in some parts of the world, color is spelt just like this. Here in America, here in America, we just take out this U and bring the R and the O together. That's how we spell it. But I know in English language, like London and Britain, this is how they spell it. So That's just my understanding of it. But let's continue.
It's spelled wrong. This last one say, if the teacher can't spell, how she teaching them kids? God, why do you let dumb people procreate? This is why the kids are slow. This is why the teachers quitting. This is why the teachers don't like teaching y'all kids. Y'all send y'all kids to go to school and learn. Then they got to come home and have a conversation with you.
Oh, Lord. Okay, so fun fact, the way that color is spelled right there is actually correct for British English or English for the rest of the world. For some reason, Americans just decided to slightly switch spellings of some words like color or flavor, humor.
See this? This how British spell color.
Or labor, neighbor.
Hold on.
To slightly switch spellings of some words like color or flavor.
Oh, you're still there. This is how the British spell color. This is how we Americans spell color. Do you have flavor? They say flavor or something, but we say flavor.
Well, they say, okay, if color is color, right? Color,
Yep.
the color red, then
Yep.
flavor and humor, labor and neighbor.
That sounds
It'll
French.
be the-
Sounds French.
British.
Flavor.
Flavor. So they're pronouncing the OUR like neighbor, like neighbor. We say
Neighbor.
neighbor, right? But we
Yeah.
say BOR like bore,
Yeah.
right? Or
La-
that's the same
labor.
letter sound. Right. But how you tell people how I would teach it is the actual OR sound makes the OR sound. Or could you say this or that? Right? So you would say humor. We say we're lazy, but they're looking at us saying, how do y'all saying humor when it's humor because it's the OR sound? So okay, but there is the OUR, which is our in English, right? So it doesn't. I see how they're like, okay, how does that even make sense? But because that translation, if these little dumb kids can't even read that says color and color.
But yeah, I thought that was a little off-putting. They spell color, but for the British English version, but clearly
It's color.
that's an American woman speaking on this.
Because the OURS is ours. Flavor OUR is our. Humor OUR is our. So labor, flavor.
Yeah, that's just how they spell it. All right, let's continue. Fear you.
For humor, labor, neighbor. Also apologize. Or
Apologize or apologize. We
Oh
spell
wait,
ours with
what
a
do
Z.
we do? Oh, we spell it with a Z and they spell it with an S.
Organize.
They do say it. They say it like that too. Organize, recognize. We say recognize.
Look alive, recognize.
Yeah.
We say
Okay,
recognize.
that sounds about right. Recognize.
Yeah.
I didn't recognize you.
Mm.
Oh, hustler, I didn't recognize you. Yeah, that's about right.
Okay.
That sounds right.
And that's what I was saying about that conversation we had about the mispronunciation of word. The person may have an accent or be from whatever part of the world you're from. They may pronounce it differently than how we say it. They say
But you
apologize.
see, it's
We say
not that
recognize.
different.
Huh?
But it's not that different. It's not, we're talking about them pronouncing the word using an altogether different word. This is very close. So you're still, just because the S and the Z, you still know what they're saying because they may say recognize. You know what they're saying because of that. We're talking about what their accent makes them say the words altogether different. And then now we're getting things lost in translation. But here you would know what they mean. Organize. Organize. Apologize. Apologize.
Apologize. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Fair use.
organize. And some really difficult words like leukemia, maneuver, estrogen, and pediatric. And then for some reason, they decided to change the spelling.
estrogen.
Leukemia.
What did she say? Estrogen.
Leukemia, estrogen.
Okay. Estrogen.
Estrogen. They say estrogen. Okay. Pediatrics.
Pediatrics. What do we
We say pediatrics. I don't know how they spell it over here. Potty. I can't pronounce it.
Pediatrics. Wait, how did it? Leukemia is the same, isn't it? Oh wait,
No, it ain't.
leukemia.
They have an A in between the K in it. Yeah.
Maneuver. Maneuver. Oh, okay.
Yeah, you see the differences. So did British pronounce it one way, us Americans pronounce it another way. So that's the only difference. And it's
We
spelled
pronounce
differently
it.
too.
Well, we pronounce it the same way. She said we say apologize, apologize. It's still the same. That S is not making a difference in pronunciation. Now, if they're saying leukemia and we're saying leukemia and they're saying leukemia, whatever, you know what I mean? If they're making that sound, that might make it sound like, what are you saying? Are you trying to say leukemia? Or if we say estrogen, would you know what someone was talking about if they were like, oh, my estrogen levels are down?
Estrogen.
Would you know what they meant?
No, I forget what estrogen means.
But you know what estrogen is.
Like I said, I forget.
How do you forget what estrogen is? You're not listening. It's crazy.
Yeah, I'm missing something. I
You are
forgot what it
missing
was that
something.
quick. My bad. I forgot what it was that quick. My bad. I'll look it up.
You don't even know to look up estrogen. Estrogen is women have estrogen. Women are mostly estrogen.
Oh, okay. I remember
Everything
now. Okay.
female, anything female is mostly estrogen. But if someone said
Okay.
estrogen,
Okay. I remember now. My bad, Jenny Jen. I'm tweaking over here. I remember now.
okay.
It's
But
something
you
to do
know
with
what?
the female. It's something to do with female. That's all I know.
Okay, you know what? What's the other word? Pediatric. You know what
That's
that is?
yes, that's dealing with children in the medical in the hospital or whatever. Pediatric care.
Okay, so it sounds like they say pediatric. You still would know what they meant, right?
Yeah, I probably would.
Yeah, so it probably sounds the same. It's just the spelling is why it looks so different. Because if they say maneuver, and then we say maneuver, and they say
Yeah.
maneuver. Mm.
Yeah, I get it. I get it. Estrogen is something to do with the females. Pediatric is, dealing with child care in the medical field. Okay, let's continue. Fair use.
Maneuver, estrogen, and pediatric. And then for some reason, they decided to change the spelling of the word mom, which still messes me up to this.
Yeah, British say mum,
Mum.
as in mummy. We say mom.
Mom. Because the MOM is mother, but the MUM is a mum is a flower.
A mum is a flower.
It is. A mum is a flower. Mums.
So I
A
guess
flower.
in British, the mom was a precious flower. Okay, we put it like that.
But the mom comes from the word mother, right? MOTHER.
Yes. Yes, it does.
So yeah, mum. Hello, mum. Oh.
I've heard
Mom.
British people. I've been on parents with some British folks, and that's how they say it. My mum, instead
My
of saying,
mum.
"Oh, you mean mom?" Okay, okay.
Your mom. Why y'all say mom? Ah.
So
Okay.
yeah, I never understood that either. But that's how they talk out there in London. But it is what it is. Fair use.
Day. Look at you guys learning so much stuff on this channel. Now, I really hope that most parents know that, because if they don't, how are they supposed to teach their kids? Because the scary part is, according to the US National Adult Literacy Survey, about 21% of adults are illiterate, meaning they struggle to read
21% of adults are illiterate. That was dating back 2 years ago. Okay.
things like the newspaper or even basic health information. So think about that for a
believe
second.
it.
Okay, if the parent struggles to read, how is the child supposed to learn? So maybe it isn't just the iPad or COVID or teachers or any other excuse you want to make. Sometimes it all starts in the home. Okay, so this video has been pretty bleak, so let me give you some actual good news. Researchers at Carnegie Mellon University
Dang.
gave struggling child readers 100 hours of intensive instructions, and the results were kind of insane. Within 100 hours, the gray matter in their brains linked to reading actually increased. So no, Gen Alpha isn't completely doomed. All it takes is around 100 hours to start seeing real physical changes in the brain, which also brings me to Kai Cenat. I know, why am I talking about Kai Cenat? Well, if you've never heard of him, he is one of the biggest biggest streamers in the world right now. And recently, alongside his usual streams, he decided to challenge himself to read more. And this wasn't a joke or a bit. He actually literally sat down live in front.
You know who this
see
guy
that?
is?
You know who Kai Cenat is.
Kai Cenat. I don't think I've heard of him.
Yeah, you probably have heard of him. You just don't realize it. That's what's crazy, because for these people to be so big, not to say that everybody hasn't heard of these people, but he's in the tabloids on a lot on other platforms as well. He crosses over a lot. Like white people talk about him, black folks talk about him. But he's very, very famous for being a streamer. But he actually did sit down and do that. He actually sat down and just read that book, read those pages. He's like, blah, 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 and he's reading it.
Maybe I did see some of his skits, but I didn't know who he was at the time. So
Yeah,
you might be right.
That's why I always say that, and especially if you're online, you've probably seen his, have thumb through it if you're looking through TikTok, so Instagram, Facebook, whatever. Especially for these people that are everywhere, they're on all platforms. So if you're on Facebook, it's not like you're going to be like, oh, I never ran across some of these people. You just haven't associated a name to who they are. You've probably seen their mad skits, see their interviews, see them out on the streets doing the whole asking people questions type of shit, and didn't know that that's what you were looking at. But that's who Kai Cenat is. That's who that guy is right there. But he actually did do that. He sat there and just started reading, and he said, I'm gonna improve my reading, and he literally sat there and did it.
Well, salute to him for that. At least
That big ass book, you see him reading it. He was reading it word for word. Now, what he just read is different, but he did say every word he read.
Oh, okay. Makes sense to me. All right, fear
In front
you.
of 80,000 people every single day and started to read for 15 to 20 minutes a day.
I'm timing himself down.
Realize that if I create reasons of why I love her, then it makes my love for her conditional.
And he wasn't even trying to act smart about it, okay? If he didn't know a word, he just stopped and looked it up. He sounded it out. He tried again, which is something most people wouldn't even do by themselves, let alone in front of that many people.
Spontaneity. How do I pronounce that?
Spontaneity.
Spontaneity.
Oh,
the condition
my
of being
God.
spontaneous.
Spontaneity.
He was reading the book, and he didn't know how to pronounce the word spontaneity. And then the computer just told him, and now he's looking up the word so he knows what that is. Do you see what I'm saying? They were trying to pronounce the word silhouette on that other paper. And extraordinary. Come on now.
Well, at least this kid is trying. Shit.
Oh yeah, that's why he's getting kudos for doing it online. But everything he does is online. So I don't know.
Oh, okay. And that's a lot of shoes this man got. Even I don't have that many shoes.
Yeah, he got
And
mad sponsors too. Mad people, Kevin Hart, all type of people. Boots, what's the little dude name? Oh, everybody's been there. Nicki Minaj.
Mm-hmm.
Remember he was in the tabloids because he bought his girlfriend a Range Rover, a truck or whatever, and then she left him to be with someone else, and that guy bought her the car she really wanted. The Range wagon or whatever it is. He was all in the tabloids. He crying and shit. All in love with her. Mm-hmm. I think he might have been on the show when they were reviewing about him.
Well, I got to go find that stream again. I think I remember hearing about that. Somebody was picking it apart.
Yeah, because he was breaking down and crying, and Coach Fred was talking about him, and he over here crying because he lost his girlfriend, and his heart broken, and y'all, he was online, and he got offline, so I ain't gonna stream no more.
Damn, that sucks.
Mm-hmm. You lost your girlfriend. You're a live streamer, and then you lose your girlfriend on live. It's crazy.
It is.
She
All
wants
right,
that
let's
other nigga.
continue. Damn, hypergamy at its worst. Fair use.
Spontaneity.
And I don't know, it's kind of nice to see. Like, reading isn't this boring school-only thing anymore, okay? Because whether Kai realizes it or not, he's kind of making learning look normal again, and showing millions of kids that it's okay not to know things straight away, and figure it out as you go.
The reason why I started reading was because I didn't like the way I spoke. Be honest, I wanted to articulate myself better, and I noticed when I got into arguments and I had to get a point across, people were not taking me serious at all at serious moments, and I would have anxiety build up, and then I would start over my words and I not know what happened. So hopefully me reading, and I also have been writing as well helps improve the way I articulate myself.
And there's plenty of other people on TikTok doing the same thing, like Cornelius, who never went to school and is now teaching himself how to read.
It's late. Why isn't Steve, my son, home yet? I know
I think I've seen him before.
he's old enough to take care of himself.
And look, Gen Alpha aren't all brain rot, skibbity toilet, and literacy crises either, okay? Because the older teenagers who are between 11 and 16 care about the environment issues, about animal welfare, and about women's rights. In a survey, only 11% of parents said their teens show no interest in social causes at all. And that says it all. I mean, this is a generation of people who are aware of the world around them. They're not always just scrolling mindlessly, they're actually reading the news sometimes, if they can read. Now, while we're talking about reading, I want to show you some of my favorite books. Listen, I like lots of books, but my particularly favorite books are by Robert Greene. And I have read every Robert Greene books, but my favorite ones are The Laws of Human Nature, The Art of Seduction, and The 48 Laws of Power. If you want something fun to read that has a bit of history, Robert Greene. Or if you want to read something completely random, you could always read The Communist Manifesto by Karl Marx. Great book. Anyway, thank you so much to the people that helped me make this video, and I'll see you guys in the...
Well, that's the video.
That was good. Oh my God.
Yeah, that was a lot to pick apart.
But them kids not being able to read, she's not wrong. She's not wrong.
I mean, like she said, Gen X is not completely cooked because, you know, my 19-year-old godson and my 24-year-old goddaughter, they're doing pretty good for themselves. Raised by a good father and everything. So they're pretty much on the right track.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They're on the other side of this group of kids he's talking about right now. You know, these kids are younger than them. So your God kids are on the tail end of the kids that can still learn and read. If you're 19 and 20 right now, if you're 14 and 13, you've seen them. They going into high school and can't read. And telling you, I can't.
Yeah, ain't that about some shit? Again, I work for a school bus district. I see the kids getting on off the bus. So I don't see what goes on in the school, but I can only speculate because the way they act on that bus is like, golly, some of them be buried in their cell phones, have their laptops, and they be on them things all throughout the bus ride. Well, I mean, they will talk to each other, but still.
But you can see that, like they're saying, the lack of social skills, and then they on the computer, they on that, and they're gonna go right in the house and go right in and be on the computer all over again, and be right on the phone all over again. So you see that it's not, you know, it's doing something to them. I can't go because my nephew and my little sisters, they knew how to read way before they went to school. We all did. So I don't know. I don't even know what that's like. Not being able to read.
Yeah, do you think it's a generational thing? Because remember, we're Gen X and millennials. We were brought up by our silent generation grandparents and our baby boomer parents. Because my mom was a boomer, born in 49. My dad was born 3 years prior. And they grew up in a time where they didn't have technology. They had to go outside and enjoy life. And they had to learn different types of skills. They had to learn this stuff. So they put them same values in us. So that's why, despite having video games, TV shows, rap music, we still knew how to behave ourselves and conduct ourselves properly. At least I did anyway. Yeah, you had the knuckleheads out there, but they were like a different breed compared to knuckleheads of today.
Well, my nephew is 13. So he is who we're talking about. But he can read. And he actually likes school.
Yeah.
But coming right behind him in that generation, you know, is it the 18 to 21-year-old, 20-year-olds, or 25, 20, whatever. And then right behind that is my sister's generation, his mama. So it's all the 30-year-olds, all those kids that grew up, they learned how. So it couldn't have been, you know, I mean, I don't know how far down it got passed down, if they passed it down to us and then we passed it down to them, because all of those, the 20-year-old and the 30-year-old parents, they're the ones who having the problem keeping, helping their kids with homework because they also don't only know so much. You know what I mean? So I don't know how much we how much did we get it passed down? Did it stop with us? Did it stop with all the 40-year-olds? Because the 30-year-olds is the ones who are the parents of these young children. And they're the ones who are having the issues. Remember, they said they can't even help them with their homework because they don't know what the hell's going on. And then the whole emphasis on you wasn't going to be out here not knowing how to read, representing your mama. That wasn't going to happen. But it's okay with this generation. Nothing to say about the parents. They're not bad parents. It's just that they don't have that kind of value. Like, you're not about to be out here making me look bad. And one of the things is you're not going to embarrass my family. And you know what I mean? You're not going to make us look bad altogether. You're not going to be embarrassment. You're not going to be an ignorant child of mine. And they say, ain't no child of mine finna be ignorant. It's going to be some things you don't know, but how to read is not going to be one of them. But it's okay with this generation now. These mamas don't care, or these daddies don't care. Our mamas did care. That was part of it too. So I don't know how much it got passed down, as far as like how much of it's generational, because the mamas don't care. You can't make the mamas give a damn about their kids not learning. Our mamas cared. They wasn't going for that.
Yeah, true that. I mean, it has to start at home. That's where my learning started. My mother, my family, my male cousins, uncles. I mean, I had a TV, but that can only teach you so much.
But we had TV at home though. TV didn't go with us nowhere.
And that's the beauty of it. That's the thing. These kids take the internet with them everywhere they go, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. We didn't have that luxury back then. Internet was to be used at home or at a friend's house or at the public library. That was it. TV, same thing. Watch TV at home. But when you're outside the house, the world is your oyster. And I don't want to sound old and cynical, but that's what kept us together as a community. That's what kept us stoic. It kept us proactive, kept us patient. Put the electronics down and go enjoy each other's company. That's what we had to do.
Well, I mean, it wasn't like you can pack your Nintendo or your Atari up and take it to your friend's house.
Yeah,
we
did
wasn't
that
doing
too.
that. You know what I mean? We wasn't doing that. We was going to your friend's house more likely without your game. You might have taken your game over there once in a while, but here today, you are taking your game to your friend's house to play games with your friend, and that's literally what all y'all gonna do.
Yeah.
Right? We wasn't lugging that game around just to be we was taking it over there to play that day. The rest of the days we was playing, we wasn't taking that damn game.
Nope, we weren't. I see what you mean. We weren't.
Come on now.
I mean, yeah, and as far as portable, we had the Game Boy, the Game Gear, the Nintendo 3DS, but we had to use that shit more sparingly because the batteries could drain. So
right, so you wasn't taking your whole console to your cousin. I mean, unless you know what I'm saying, it was reasons why you would do that. Like, okay, well, I'm about to be over there for a week because my mama gonna be out of town, so I'm taking my console. But how these niggas is moving today? They taking their console to their boy house they walking around PS5 in their backpack. Like
every day.
We don't do. Yeah, damn. Like folks is that's how they taking it to their friend house to go play games. So they can all play together.
Okay, you're doing a sleepover. That's cool, but every day, okay, that's weird.
Just in general, to take it with them. Like we would take the game because today we're gonna play the game. Right, but the next time we hang out, I'm not bringing my game. That's not just a regular thing that we do. The game stays at home. That's why it's a console. If I bring it, it's an occasion. It's a one-off. It's not every time we hang out as friends. So yeah, it's different now.
Yeah, that is something. It is different. And yeah, we not old cynical. We not some old cynical people here. We just yearning for the days of where everything was balanced, kept us together. You know what I mean?
Right. You would go over your cousin's house or your friend's house to play their game because they got a console.
And that's
you
the
ain't about
thing.
to pack your shit up and take it with you over there. Like, no.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I'm not gonna say well, I'm gonna say 80. I'm gonna say 90% of people I knew personally from school or work, they had their own goddamn console in the house to begin with.
Mm-hmm.
Now, to be fair, I was kind of late to the game when it came to own the latest console. Like, I didn't get a PlayStation 1 to 1999, literally 5 years after the system was released, or 4 years after it was released. I got an N64 that same day. So yeah, you want to come to my house and play that? I'll have to go to their house and play it, or they just bring it over to my house. Or bring it to my house.
But even back then, that far back, Hustler, everybody didn't all have the same console because there was so many. There were multiple things to have. So even as far back as somebody had a Sega, somebody had a Nintendo, somebody had whatever, a PS, a PlayStation. Then somebody had a Switch. Like it wasn't. Now everybody has everything, the same things. Before, you didn't have to get you got an Atari, or you got a Sega Genesis. You didn't have to get a Nintendo when it came out. You could still get Sega Genesis, right? You still play we'll say Sonic the Hedgehog on the Sega, or you can play Top Gun on Sega. But now PS5, because where's Nintendo at? Where you either got Nintendo or you got PlayStation. You see what I'm saying? Before there was a few other options, so that you could have to take your console over to somebody's house because they don't have a Nintendo. You the one that got the Nintendo. They got a PlayStation, or they got a Sega Genesis, and you got a Nintendo. You know what I mean? So y'all don't have the same game console. So you might have been taking your game to your cousin's house because y'all don't got the same shit. But now everybody got the same shit.
Yeah, that's true. I didn't notice that aspect of, but I knew that there was something different.
Because I had a Sega and my brother had a Nintendo. So his Nintendo was downstairs and my game was upstairs. So if you came to play with me, I don't have the same kind of game console. So I didn't have a lot of the same games either. But remember that back then they would start making games for all of them. So they would make Sonic the Hedgehog for Sega, and then make Sonic the Hedgehog for Nintendo.
Yeah,
so
and that was back.
Go ahead.
And that was back when Sega stopped with all their hardware. Their last console was the Dreamcast back in 2001. They just stopped doing game consoles. They just focused on software. Yep. So now you got every console. So now you got ports for damn near every console, just about.
See.
Yeah, like when I was in high school, I had a homeboy who got a PS2 a year after it came out. I didn't have one, so when we played SmackDown 3, he had to bring it to my house, or I would go to his house. For the most part, I went to his house.
Right, because he wasn't gonna lug that. We stopped doing that. What you mean? We wasn't walking around with consoles.
Of course, he had the slim version. He had the small slim one at first.
See. So nowadays, you would think, but I done seen guys all they want to do is sit around each other and play video games, which takes away again, like they're saying, they go from the phone to the computer to the video game, and they don't have the most social interaction that they have is with each other, which creates a very awkward individual when it comes down to like the rest of the world.
Yeah. I mean, looking back, my video game experiences brought me closer to the people I've known since then.
Right.
We bonded playing SmackDown 1, 2, and 3. We bonded playing, I don't know, King of Fighters or Mortal Kombat or Street Fighters. We bonded over that kind of shit.
I remember stuff like that because somebody had, like, say, like, you have to go to your cousin's house because he had the console and he had the PlayStation 2 and you didn't have one, but then you might have had the magazine from GameStop with all the codes in it. So y'all got to hook up because he got the game and you got the codes. You know what I mean? So y'all had to hook up to play, to bust the code open, to be like, oh, yeah, to see if it worked. So it would be shit like that required y'all to actually interact with each other. But nowadays, you can log on and you about to play with somebody across the country and you got to leave your house. You stay right there in your living room.
Now, to be fair, online gaming is nothing new. They've been doing that shit for the last 25, 26 years.
Yeah.
But back in the day, it's like when online gaming first got started, it was just a novelty for playing a game with somebody that lived in another state, another part of the city, another neighborhood, or across the country. But now it's all that they do.
I
Went
remember
from being a
playing
novelty to a
online
requirement.
solitaire. Do you remember playing online solitaire? You play solitaire with somebody else that's
I
across
played.
the world.
I think I did that one time, but that was it. It was just a one-off thing for me. But
It was way back on the computer when it was like MSN and AOL,
I
and you wanted to
remember.
play online games. You had
Oh,
solitaire, you had card games, you had poker.
I had a Windows
Like,
95. I had a
yeah,
Windows
it was
95
on
when I
the.
was in middle school.
Yep, and you wanted to play online games. You be playing against somebody else. Like, what the hell? And I'm getting beat by this dude playing solitaire or checkers or chess now. Yep, that's crazy. That's funny. We was playing.
Yeah.
We was playing online games way back. Even when you was playing like computer. Remember the computer game? You could play online computer games. You'd be online playing with some up against somebody else. You might be playing like football on the computer, having to push the up and down button.
Yep. Or hook your gaming console to the internet and play like that. That's what people did when they was in high school and college.
Mm-mm.
But those servers have long since been dead. So what can you do?
That's crazy. But that required us to hook up though. That's what that was making us do. It was making people like hang out with each other. You know? Like even on college campuses, even when the gaming got there, they was meeting up in one room and hanging out, being stinky. We'd complain and be like, dang, y'all smell. Y'all ain't got left the room in 20 hours. Legitly.
Hmm. Yeah. Play the game for an hour before you go to the downstairs college party or whatever the fuck. I never lived on campus, but I knew about some of the stuff that was going down. I can speculate what was going down on them college campuses back in the day.
Yeah, I used to go up there to Michigan State every weekend and hang out with my cousin. So yeah, was actually going down. It was some going down. And
I
oh
can
yes.
imagine. I started college in the early mid 2000s or something like that. You was in college like what, during the 90s?
Yeah. And then I got out of college and then my cousin went to college and he'd be like, why don't you come hang out with me? And I'm like, I'm old as hell. And I get up there and I see all those young college men. I'm like, sir, how are you doing? I'm about to get my master's degree. Yes, you are. Young man, yes, you are. Thank you, God.
It'd be older folks at these colleges. It'd be some
Yeah,
older folks going to college.
they be graduate students. I'd be like, yes,
Yeah.
sir.
I graduated
So,
back in 2011. I'm class of 2011 in college.
Mm-hmm.
See, you was getting your little grown and sexy on in the 90s. I'm still trying to find my grown and sexiness by the time the 2000s rolled around.
My cousin was in college in the 2000s. So in the 90s, I was ending my teenage years. So by the time my cousin got
That's
to college,
it. Get your little grown and sexy on. If
I
16,
was like an
17.
adult. I was like 21 and my cousin was going to college and he was up there 19, 20. And I'm 21, 22, 23. Hitting the college campus like, I'm here to see my cousin. They be like, let me escort you to the room. I'm like, yes, sir. How you doing, sir? All them young college men. Mm-hmm.
Was you on college trying to be a cougar, by the way, during that time?
No, I was because remember, I graduated in 92. So
92. Let's see. So I was 7 years old when you graduated high school. I mean college. Was it high school or college?
Yeah, high
Okay,
school.
so I was 7 years old when you graduated high school. Okay, I was in second grade when you graduated high school.
10 years. How am I 10 years older than you?
Yes, you are.
Okay, I was gonna say that's crazy because that's 10 years older than you. So yeah, so by the time my cousin got to college, in the mid 90s, I was already like a young adult. I was already in my 20s, going back up to the campus, but it was older college students getting their master's degrees, and so everybody wasn't 18 and 19-year-olds. It was other grown people up there too. I just would be like, this is ooh, hello, how you doing? Ooh. But by the 2000s, I was all the way grown and out in the world living life. So ain't nobody going to no college nowhere by the 2000s.
Yep. I'm class of 2002. Yep.
Yeah, I wasn't hanging out at no colleges at 2000. Nothing. No.
I stopped hanging around the colleges by age 29. So I feel you.
hmm
I
And
was
only
really
just because my sister and, they would have basketball games because they would be playing, or, a family member would have something going on at the campus, graduations. But other than that, I wasn't hanging out up there. No, no, no.
Yeah, you too old for that stuff.
I was out
let
there,
you-
yeah, you're trying to live now, you know. All that stuff you learn is supposed to be in practice. Oh, it was a good
Yeah,
show.
it
It was
really
nice.
was. Yeah, I'm at the 3-hour marker. So my girl,
That's
you can
good.
give
Do
you can give
how many subs do you have?
about 540.
How come are you not monetized? You don't have enough watch hours?
With the shit I be doing, I ain't no way in hell I'm getting monetized. You know how many copywritten claims I've gotten over the years for my music
What's
and
that?
whatever else I be doing.
Right, but you go what do you mean? Because then you can go back. You either what you do, you take the video down. I mean, how do you have they told you that's why you're not monetized? Because they tell you what you got to do to get it, and they tell you how many hours you need and all that, and
I was
then they
told
tell you what you got to do.
I was told you need like a certain number of subscriptions to get monetized.
Right, but Hustler, did you see for yourself? You don't got to worry about nobody else. I said, did they tell you what you need to get monetized? I meant YouTube tell you, not nobody. You go to your analytics on your YouTube studio and see what it says, and it'll tell you. But they send you a message. They let you know, hey, this is how close you are to being monetized. This is what you need to do to get monetized. And they'll tell you if it's something where there's a song playing, they'll give you the option to go back and mute that, take out that portion of the song, of the video, and then they say, hey, just to give you options. They tell you, what are you going to do? You want to take the video down? You want to take out that portion of the video? You want to mute it while it's playing? And that allows your video to still be counting towards whatever it is that you need to acquire to get monetized. But if you got 500 subs is one of the things you do need to get monetized. The other thing is watch hours, meaning how many hours you've been online. You might not have enough hours online. Like you need hours, like 1,000 hours or something.
I've been doing this shit since 2023. I'm 3 years in practically. So I know I should have watch hours, but I ain't checked those qualifications in a while. Who knows what they've changed?
Yeah, go look and see, because it does say, like, my thing pops up and it's been telling me, like, now it says you need so many AI clips. It tells you all of that, like you need so many watch hours, you need so much subscribers. You need, because it hit me like when I got to halfway subscribers, it's like you're at 287 subscribers. This is what you need to get. We'll let you know when you're close to monetization. And I just checking my analytics, and it started letting me know, like, hey, you need to do this many more AI videos. You need this many more watch hours. So I need to be online and just be sitting online. But now they said the AI is making sure you're an actual person, and not just a faceless, because they're cracking down on some of the faceless channels because they're not because you can pay for a bot to engage with you in your chat. So they want to make sure so they are cracking down on monetizing some of the channels because of the fact that some of these channels are faceless, so they can't tell if it's actually a real person, and they can pay for engagement. So they don't know if it's really you engaging with real people and talking shit back and forth. So that's why some of the argument channels and all that extra toxic shit is winning, because that is verifying that there are real people engaging with each other. All this other shit, they don't know that you're real, that you're a real hustler, muscler, because they can't verify it against the actual image of you. And then they can't verify the engagement in your audience as actual people, because you can buy engagements. You can buy bots to respond back to you, word response,
I never knew that, honestly.
Yeah, so
I've been faceless. I've been faceless for over 3 years now. The most you're gonna see are these little AI replicas like I create of myself. Like this picture I got of you and me lounging in the backyard. That's the
Yeah,
most you'll see of me.
go look into it because there's updates and there's new stuff coming out, especially with the AI that some people I think somebody was doing a video about channels that are being demonetized because they can't verify, part of the requirement is that they can't verify that it's actually a person running the channel because now you have AIs running the channel and people are subscribing and it's getting mad subscribers. So while you sitting over here with your little 500, somebody got 30,000 subscribers and they're not even a real person back there and you pushing and doing all this, sitting up here talking to me in real life, but they're not even doing half this work. They're AI, that's kind of fucked up because me and you is sitting here actually spending time online to build a relationship with our viewers and build engagement. They're not even doing nothing. They're just pushing buttons and being AI about it.
Yeah. Now I've heard of people doing stuff like that, but ironically for me, I use AI to promote my channel and entertain the audience. I know you've seen my little AI videos. I'm working on one right now, as a matter of fact.
Right. Well, that's what I'm saying. The other part of your faceless channel is that you have engagement, right? There's people coming up on your panel. There's people talking to you. You're popping up in other places. So that can verify that you are a person because there are other channels just like this one where you never see the person's face and it's absolutely not the person running the channel. It's an AI. Someone's putting in the commands on the AI and the AI is doing everything that you're doing right now on the channel. Talking to me, running a video, engaging with the audience, and the whole thing is AI.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. That's a big difference. So they're trying to see, is Hustler and Muscle a real channel with real people or is it some AI shit? Because you can purchase engagement bots for your chat. So it looks like people are talking to you. Someone did an interview and they were talking to themselves in the AI. They wrote down the questions and they wrote down and AI responded. So, hey, Hustler, how long have you been doing the YouTube channel? And then they wrote down the question and AI responded because he's reading the question.
Oh, okay, I see. And plus, if you look at some of my shorts, you will see my first few shorts are of me actually out and about outside. I'm either at the gym or walking around the park with some music playing. So I'm a real person.
Right.
You're not
well, we know that, but
you're not going to see my
face.
You're not going to see my face, but you'll see me like from the neck down or the nose down on camera. So that lets you know I'm a real person. So that don't tell you anything. I don't know what will.
Well, that's good. That's what I'm saying. That's what we're saying, that for the people who generally aren't on camera, some people can't get monetized because AI can't determine you from another faceless channel. They don't know if you're human or if you're another computer because they can't never match you with a face. They can't match you with human movement. Now, that might be what's saving you or saving other channels like yours, where at some point in the timeline there's actually real footage of you. So that makes it okay. Well, that solidifies that. But there are channels out here where you've never seen the person. They've always been behind an avatar, and they got mad subscribers and they got mad followers, and it's not even a human. It's all computerized, right? It's all AI. So just look and see what they say, because 500 subs and you should be on your way to being like monetized. It might be something,
I get what you're saying, but reality is this: I'm not doing this for no money anyway. I'm doing this for the entertainment and the educational aspect. I want to entertain my audience and engage with the audience. If I want money, just cash at me a few dollars, and that's good enough for me.
Well, you don't even have your Cash App up there.
It is up there. I just pinned it like before the stream started.
Oh, it must be pinned at the very top. You know how to do your ticker. You should, where it says chat and chill, you should put your Cash App behind that while it's scrolling across the screen while you're doing a 3-hour video.
Okay.
That's where you should type it at, because that would get.
I think I've already done that. Here, let me go find it.
Oh, you got a ticker? Yeah, to put that because
See,
the
here it is.
probability.
Oh, there it is. Okay.
Yeah, put that behind the H&M where it says chat and chill, because if you sit there and see that, that's the M Cash App if I hit the link. Where's the Cash App where's the $? What does it say? Where is it? $? What? You don't even say what your Cash App is.
Oh, there it
Oh,
is.
yeah, that's what you just need to put behind the H&M. So let that scroll across the screen, because I wouldn't even think about H&M FAL life. Yeah, put that on the
H&M
ticker.
for life, like the NWO. For life, for life, for
Oh,
life.
For life. I wish that I could have this moment for life. Yeah, put that on your ticker, because ain't nobody gonna see that unless you click it and put it up there.
All
Yeah.
right, fair enough, fair enough. Well, this was
Well,
an
yeah.
interesting show. Glad you could be here. Glad you could be here, my girl. Jenny, are you there? Genesis? I think your audio went out. Are you still there? Genesis, are you still there? Well, why Genesis fixes?
I read my comments. I don't have that many, so I get to read them all. And
Oh, okay, there you are.
who is there?
I thought you left me.
I've been talking. I've been giving my final thoughts. So,
Okay.
yeah. So everybody, go check out my puppy's channel. Check out my channel. Anybody who is in your chat who likes animals and pets, I have a fur baby show later on Sunday evenings. I hope I see everybody there. And shout out to everybody on H&M's channel. And good night, sugars.
Take care, Genesis. Take care. Yeah, I'll play your little intro for you as you're leaving. Let's see, where is it? I hear it.
Strong beginnings, that's the only way.
We came up fighting to own the whole damn game. Never backing down, never gonna fade away. Now everybody knows the strength of our name.
We stay grinding, we stay keeping it true. Stay solid, you know what we about to do. It's all on the line now, no turning back. Strong beginnings, that's the only way.
Yeah, shout out to my girl Genesis with all her innocence. Mess with her, things get really, really menacing. Shout out to you, my girl. Thank you for stopping by. Now, my final thoughts, this education, we got to get better with it. Got to go back to the basics of teaching kids how to properly read and articulate words, and don't just memorize shit, understand what it means and understand what it is, like I did when I was younger. So yeah, we got to get better. All Generation Z is not helpless, but we still got to, do better with this educational stuff. This is getting too out of hand. But yeah, shout out to Centico, unpredictable, always at her pentacle. Shout out to Drip. Shout out to Drip. He tends to be a trip, but he's always giving you wonderful tips. Shout out to David Fisher. Shout out to Ella Ross for stopping by. Shout out to Ivy Wode. And everybody else that came in to the show. Shout out to Gas Mask for stopping by as well. I appreciate y'all for coming up. Really appreciate y'all. Genesis, you're still in the back, but I'll put you in the. I'll put you out. Genesis, you still there? Guess not. Oh, there she is. She's off now. Okay. Shout out to everybody for stopping by. This is your boy, Hustler and Muscular, also known as H&M, dropping gems, stomping harder than a pair of Timbs. You know what I do, giving you the truth, straight out the booth, hitting home runs like Babe Ruth. Because that's what I do. Take care, y'all. I'm out of here. Have a good night and deuces.
Yeah. Nigga. I'm still fucking with you. Still waters run deep. Still Snoop Dogg and DRE. 99, nigga. Guess who's back? Still doing that shit, Andre.
Oh, for sure. Check me out.
It's still Dre Day, nigga. AK nigga, though I've grown a lot. Can't keep it home a lot. Cause when I frequent the spots that I'm known to rock, you hear the bass from the truck. When I'm on the block, ladies, they pay homage. But haters say Dre fell off. I nigga, my last album was The Chronic. They wanna know if he still got it. They say raps change. They wanna know how I feel about it. If you ain't up on things, Dr. Dre is the name. I'm ahead of my game. Still puffin' my leaves. Still fuck with the beat. Still not loving police. Still rock my khakis with a cup in the crease. Still got love for the streets. Reppin' 213 for life. Still the beats bang. Still doing my thing. Since I left, ain't too much change. Still, I'm representing for them gangsters all across the world. Still hitting them corners in them low-lows, girl. Still taking my time to perfect the beat. And I still got love for the streets. It's the DRE. I'm representing for them gangsters all across the world. Still hitting them corners in them low-lows, girl. Still taking my time to perfect the beat. And I still got love for the streets. It's the DRE. Since the last time you heard from me, I lost some friends. Well, hell, me and Snoop, we dipping again. Kept my ear to the streets. Signed Eminem, he's triple platinum. Doing 50 a week. Still, I stay close to the heat. And even when I was close to defeat, I rose to my feet. My life's like a soundtrack, I wrote to the beat. Treat rap like Cali weed, I smoke till I sleep. Wake up in the AM, compose a beat. I bring the fire to you, smoking in your seat. It's not a fluke, it's been tried, I'm the truth. Since turn out the lights from the world-class wrecking crew, I'm still at it, after mathematics. In the home of drive-bys and AK Maddox. Swap meet, sticky green and bad traffic. I dip through, then I give you still DRE. I'm representing for them gangsters all across the world. Still hitting them corners and them low-lows, girl. Still taking my time to perfect the beat. And I still got love for the streets. It's the DRE. I'm representing for them gangsters all across the world. Still hitting them corners and them low-lows, girl. Still taking my time to perfect the beat. And I still got love for the streets. It's the DRE. It ain't nothing but more hot shit. Another classic CD for y'all to vibe with. Whether you're coolin' on the corner with your fly bitch, lay back in the shack, play this track. I'm representing for them gangsters all across the world. Still hitting them corners and them low-lows, girl. Yeah, I'll break your neck, damn to put your face in your lap. Niggas try to be the king, but the ace is back. So if you ain't up on things, Dr. Dre be the name. Still running the game, still got it wrapped like a mummy. Still ain't tripping, love to see young blacks get money. Spend time out the hood, take their moms out the hood. Hit my boys off with jobs, no more living hard. Barbecues every day, driving fancy cars. Still gon' get mine, regardless. I'm representing for them gangsters all across the world. Still hitting them corners and them low-lows, girl. Still taking my time to perfect the beat. And I still got love for the streets. It's the DRE. I'm representing for them gangsters all across the world. Still hitting them corners and them low-lows, girl. Still taking my time to perfect the beat. And I still got love for the streets. It's the DRE. I'm representing for them gangsters all across the world. Still hitting them corners and them low-lows, girl. Still taking my time to perfect the beat. And I still got love for the streets. It's the DRE. Right back up in your motherfucking ass. 9-5 plus 4 pennies. Add that shit up. DRE. Right back up on top of things. Smoke some with your dog. No stress, no seeds, no stems, no sticks. Some of that real sticky, icky, icky. Ooh-wee. Put it in the air. We'll use a fool, DR.